Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest live stream. Hopefully everything's working. I'm not sure if everything's working. I literally just got in the door. I'm not even in our studio, so let's make sure everything's working. We have a large tornado on the ground right now in Maryland. The microphone, again, might not be there. We also don't have a thumbnail. I'm trying to work on the thumbnail as we speak. But there is a large tornado on the ground right now in Maryland. This is going to be just to the west of the Gaithersburg area. It is a PDS tornado, particularly dangerous situation, as we do have a large tornado that's in progress, currently going into Maryland as we speak, currently including areas like Germantown, Gaithersburg, Montgomery Village, all those areas currently included in this particular confirmed tornado that's on the ground. And again, this is a large and extremely dangerous tornado, and this thing on radar looks pretty crazy. If we go to the correlation coefficient, you will notice that this area of rotation right here near Dawsonville is the area of interest right now in terms of a tornado. So this is, again, your large and extremely dangerous tornado right now that is currently moving through Dawsonville in Maryland, eventually approaching Germantown, which, for reference, Germantown is a very populated area. So if you are in this particular warning, you need to seek shelter immediately. Get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. Once again, this is a emergency alert here. We have a particularly dangerous situation right now here in Maryland near Germantown, where there is a large tornado that is currently on the ground moving east-northeast going towards the Gaithersburg area and the Montgomery Village area. So if you're anywhere in this particular warning, you've got to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, get to an interior room of your home or building. This tornado in particular will eventually start to move towards Gaithersburg, Olney, and Dayton. Long term, if this stays on the ground, which in this particular environment, I don't think this will be a super long track tornado, it would eventually go towards areas like Baltimore, but that is a very long-term track of this particular confirmed tornado. So once again, if you are in this particular warning and you're just tuning in, this is for those near Gaithersburg and Germantown in Maryland. You need to make sure that you're seeking shelter now, as there is a large and extremely dangerous tornado that is currently on the ground moving east-northeast. Again, this is a particularly dangerous situation if you are in Maryland right now. And this storm will be moving east and northeast over the next several minutes. And again, large tornado currently in progress. This is producing a lot of damage as we speak near the Germantown area, just south of Germantown, about to enter into areas near the Gaithersburg area as well. Again, I'm getting the thumbnail replaced right now. The thumbnail's not accurate on today's risk. I literally just got in the door. I'm not in my studio. We had to do like a super quick setup of the studio here. All right, we're good now. All right. Let's catch our breath real quick. All right, so this is, again, your storm they're talking about that has a large and extremely dangerous tornado in progress. The rotation on the latest few scans has at least occluded for the time being, at least on that initial rotation, but it looks like we have a handoff happening, which means a new tornado is probably going to drop here just to the south of Germantown in this particular area here, and it looks like we have a new debris signature. So I think what just happened is that we have now a new tornado that is trying to drop just south of Germantown. It looks like that first area of rotation just occluded, and now we're watching a new area of rotation that is developing just to the south of Germantown, moving towards the Gaithersburg area. I'm seeing different pronunciations, but we'll just call it Gaithersburg. All right, so Gaithersburg, Maryland, Montgomery Village, right along Interstate 270, will be in the track of this over the next several minutes. So again, you need to be in your safe place if you're in this warning. Get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building, as this is a very dangerous tornado that has been on the ground, and it looks like we're gonna have a new tornado dropping on this in the next couple of minutes. Again, I'm trying to set up the studio here. We have literally very minimal setup here, but this is what we're looking at right here. A new tornado is now going to be dropping near Cedar Creek Estates. It's going to be moving into a very populated town here in Gaithersburg here in Maryland. Again, moving eastbound towards Interstate 270. Again, this is a large and extremely dangerous tornado that was on the ground, and it looks like we're going to have a new one dropping here in just a moment. I would not be surprised if we got a new tornado warning on this here in just a moment, as this storm will be moving eventually towards Olney, just north of Rockville in Maryland, and also eventually going towards Aspen Hill. So those areas will be in the track of this here over the next several minutes. So again, if you're just tuning in, this is a large and extremely dangerous tornado that has been on the ground in Maryland for probably about 10 minutes or so now. And now we have a new one that is dropping on this storm. as there is likely a handoff happening as we speak. So again, near the Gaithersburg area, that's your rotation right here. So it's right now over near the Cedar Creek Estates, and it'll eventually be approaching 119 and the Fernshire Woods area. That's going to be next in track as well of this particular tornado that is currently on the ground. If we go back a few scans, you'll see that debris signature, it was actually pretty intense back near Dawsonville, and then it actually occluded as it went into another area, and there is your new PDS tornado warning. So again, new PDS tornado warning. Sorry, we don't have anything set up here. This is a brand new PDS tornado warning that has just been issued for Gaithersburg, Brookville, and Olney. So you need to seek shelter if you're in this warning, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. Again, new large and strong tornado on the ground going towards Olney, Maryland, near the Gaithersburg area, and eventually going towards Laytonsville, Sunshine, Brookville, as well as Redland. Those are the new areas included in this particular PDS tornado warning. That is, again, a particularly dangerous situation. If you are in this warning, you need to get underground. If you can, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building, as this is another large and strong tornado that is on the ground right now, heading eastbound, going into other parts of Maryland like Olney, Redland, Durwood, and Gaithersburg. So you need to seek shelter if you can. Get underground if you can. This is a dangerous tornado. Again, this is a large and strong tornado that is currently on the ground here in Maryland. And again, still PDS. This is a considerable damage threat as well. And your particular tornado right now would be over the south side of Germantown. So it just got past the Black Rock Estates, and it's approaching Gaithersburg or Gathersburg. Again, I don't know the pronunciation. We're just going to go with Gathersburg. But this is a very populated area, which is really why this is so concerning. Very strong rotation. It's more than likely a strong tornado right now, with a pretty significant debris signature still moving towards Interstate 270 and eventually moving into Gathersburg, Montgomery Village, Redland, and Durwood. All those areas currently in the track right now of this large and strong tornado right now in the state of Maryland. Again, this is a particularly dangerous situation. This is a PDS tornado warning that is currently in effect here. For those in parts of Maryland, just to the west of Baltimore. We also have a tornado warning back up near Bel Air. This rotation has not been as strong as the one that we're talking about west of Baltimore. And obviously, the tornado risk today, it's a 2% in this area, very low risk. But this goes to show we can still see strong and potentially large tornadoes like this one we have right now that's approaching Gaithersburg or Gathersburg here in Maryland. This debris signature is growing. We have a large tornado right now heading towards Gathersburg, a very populated area here in Maryland. Going towards Interstate 270, we are right around rush hour. Unfortunately, this is a large tornado that is currently producing significant damage near Highway 119, and it will be making its approach to Gathersburg and Montgomery Village over the next several minutes. That is a debris ball that we're seeing on radar. Really, the unthinkable is happening right now just south of Germantown. We have a large and strong tornado currently in progress approaching Gathersburg in Maryland, eventually going towards Redland, and as well as going towards Durwood. So again, you need to seek shelter if you're in this warning, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. This is a significant tornado that is currently in progress. Unfortunately, we are seeing, again, possibly worst case scenario in this sort of event today, with a pretty destructive tornado right now heading towards Gathersburg. And this is a tornado warning, a particularly dangerous situation with a strong and large tornado that is currently in progress heading towards Interstate 270. I'm gonna see if we have any live shots of this. Just give me 1 second. And I'm literally, I just got to the studio, like into the second studio like 10 minutes ago. We had to rush to set everything up for this, so I am not really prepared for this stream. So just kind of letting you guys know what's happening here. Obviously, we're not in the studio. We're traveling, so this was not expected today. Just gonna let you know, we were not expecting something like this. A PDS tornado in Maryland was not on the bingo sheet today, and unfortunately, this looks like a pretty significant tornado. Big debris signature near Highway 119 right now. And yeah, it really can't get much worse than this for this particular event. The atmosphere was not really the most favorable for tornadoes today, which is why we kind of skipped out on today. And unfortunately, we have this pretty strong tornado with a big debris signature near Highway 119 right now. And again, it still continues as a PDS tornado. This is still a particularly dangerous situation here in the state of Maryland. Also, the sound effects aren't working, but we have another tornado warning near Westminster, back over here to the northwest of Baltimore. That is another tornado warning. If you're in that one, make sure that you're seeking shelter away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. We will have a new radar scan here in just a moment, so I'll be waiting on that. And here's that new scan, and it looks like your tornado right now is going right into Pleasant Run, Clopper, and Metropolitan Grove here, just west of Gathersburg. So that is where this tornado right now is on the ground. We do have some cameras in this area that we actually have some live shots. Let's pull this up real quick. This is a live shot. The tornado is going to be in here somewhere. Significant traffic. I'm not sure if this is normal for this particular area, but we at least have a live view here of really a lot of traffic right now. So there might be a tornado somewhere in here. This is where Interstate 270 is in Maryland. Let's see if we have any other view of this. This tornado would be approaching basically the west side of Gathersburg. So it's going through areas near Kentlands, which is a community here on the west side of Gathersburg, and just to the south of Germantown. So that's where, again, this particular tornado is currently on the ground. This is another live shot. I think this one's actually looking towards the tornado. We'll have to wait and see. This is a live shot right now. This would be presumably where the tornado currently is, and it's definitely windy. So this tornado is somewhere in this area. Yeah, this is not good. Unfortunately, this is a very populated area. There's nothing good about this. I don't even have a light on. I mean, we literally have nothing. This is, again, we had to set this up like very quickly. So the wind's picking up right now. This is, again, one of the cameras here in Maryland. Let's see if I can try to put this on another screen here. Let me go to here. Let me see if I can just put this up on there. Yeah, I'm going to keep a close eye on that camera. This is, again, your large and strong tornado that's heading right into the west side of Gathersburg. That is your debris signature on radar. That is where this tornado is still on the ground. That dark blue is representing some pretty significant debris, possibly trees or, you know, parts of buildings. We don't really know what that is, but there's definitely some significant debris right now that's being lifted up into the atmosphere, just on the west side of Gathersburg here in Maryland. So again, if you're in this warning, you got to get underground if you can. Get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible. It will be on track for Redland, Olney, Brooksville, Sunshine, Laytonsville, Durwood, and even Montgomery Village. All these areas right now are in the track of this large and strong tornado. Again, this is a particularly dangerous situation here in Maryland, where we do have a large and strong tornado on the ground. I'm watching the live camera right now where this tornado would approximately be. There are a lot of cars out on the roadway. I mean, we are talking pretty much the peak of rush hour. Hopefully these people know that there's a large tornado on the ground, because I don't know how many people actually do. Hopefully, you know, they do. But there's a lot of people out here, and you can see how windy it is right now. This tornado is in pretty close proximity to this particular live camera. So, you know, hopefully these people know. And hopefully this tornado lifts before it hits I-270, because Interstate 270 is not a, you know, a small interstate here. This is 100% still on the ground. You can see it right here. That's your debris signature. It is approaching Gaithersburg really quickly, and it is going to be making its approach as well to Summit Hall Reserve and Shady Grove Village are going to be in the track of this. So again, if you're in this warning, you got to get underground if you can. Pleasant Run being hit by this tornado as we speak, and it'll eventually be approaching Washington Grove. And yeah, that live camera that we're looking at, that is where the tornado would be. I mean, it would be literally over this. This is the intersection. You can see the wind still picking up. The tornado is in vicinity of this particular live camera, give or take half a mile, but it's definitely close by. You can see everything moving here. So this tornado is on the ground somewhere in here. Not sure how close it is, but it has to be pretty close. I'm not sure if this camera is delayed either, but I'm pretty sure it's right in the vicinity of this camera. I'm gonna keep it on my other monitor, and we'll pull it up when needed. Let me go back to the screen here. I don't have that stuff working on the right side. So again, latest update on radar, still showing that tornado moving right over, just crossed over the Highway 124 and 119 stretch there. It's now about to cross right over Interstate 270. So that is going to be hit here in just a moment. Here is a live shot also of this particular storm. Another live shot trying to see where this tornado would be. We have a pretty significant debris signature. There's a lot of spin in those clouds. There's definitely a chance that this lifted. I would assume if there's a tornado, it's right in front of this, you know, camera here. You can see how fast those clouds are moving. It looks like the tornado, if it was on the ground, would be where we're looking right now in this live shot. Let's see. Wow, it is very ominous. There's definitely a lowering. You can see it. Obviously, it's a bit of a pixelated camera. These are just traffic cameras, but we are basically looking at where this tornado would be. This is not something you want to see here in Maryland. Yeah, it's just a marginal threat of severe weather. Again, I had no plans of going live today. I literally just got back, not even to my studio. We're just in a, you know, a dysfunctional studio right now, basically. And so, you know, I was not ready to go live for this. I'm glad we are, because, you know, unfortunately, there's a large tornado here. I'm trying to see if we can see anything. I'm hoping it lifted. I'm guessing this would be what we're looking for, though, right here. Look at that debris. Yeah, the tornado's right here. That's debris. There's debris flying out of the sky. There's some stuff flying out of the sky. You can see it. Yeah, this is where the tornado is. Just got random pieces of debris flying out of the sky. It looks like a lot of... You can't really tell what it is because it's so pixelated, but just kind of looked like bark maybe or something like that. There's definitely debris right there. Wow, this is just crazy ominous. All those cars, yeah, there's a lot of cars on the roadway. I mean, again, this is not a rural area. You know, this is a very populated area, unfortunately. I mean, you can see stuff flying around on the screen. There's definitely a tornado right in front of us. This tornado, again, look at all the, I mean, you can see debris. I'm not sure, we don't have a clear view of the condensated tornado, but this could also just be for remnants of the previous tornado. Maybe it already lifted. We don't really know. You could still see stuff flying out of the sky, though. It's hard to see. There's rain also on the camera. Whoever's controlling this camera is trying to find it. All right, while that keeps happening, I'm just going to quickly update you. This is where the tornado would be. It would be right over Gaithersburg. We still have a debris signature on radar. It looks like there's a possibility, again, that this occluded and it lifted, but there's still debris in the atmosphere. That's a possibility here. There's also a possibility that it is still on the ground. So you need to seek shelter, again, if you're in Gaithersburg, Redland, Olney, Brookville, Sunshine, Laytonsville, any of those areas, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. We do have another tornado warning as well, northeast of Baltimore, and one near Westminster. So again, we have 5 tornado warnings, 2 on the same storm, and then we have 1 back up near Westminster. All right. That's where these warnings are right now. The large and strong tornado, if it is still on the ground, it would be basically in downtown Gaithersburg. And the debris signature is not as clear as before, but there could still be some sort of tornado here. We still have debris that's in the atmosphere. Again, we've been watching this live camera, and we are still seeing debris that's flying around. So there is likely at least... maybe not a tornado, but there's at least still debris in the atmosphere. But there could still be a tornado. You can see how the trees are obviously definitely moving here. We've definitely had a tornado with this a few times here. But there's definitely, I mean, the tornado at this point would be to the left of this camera. I'm not seeing anything clear here. So we'll go back to the camera if I do see anything. I'll keep it on my other monitor here. But once again, this is where that tornado would be moving right into the downtown area of Gaithersburg here in Maryland. We still have a debris signature, so at least debris still in the atmosphere. There could still be a tornado on the ground. As a reminder, this is a very populated area here in Maryland. This is not a small little location. Going towards Redland and eventually going towards Olney will also be in the track of this. Eventually Brookville will also be in the track of this particular tornado. The hope is that this does lift. We have had a pretty big debris signature with this in the past, so this was definitely not some sort of tiny tornado. Again, if we go back a few scans, that right there is your large tornado. This was not something that was super tiny. So unfortunately, this has definitely caused some pretty significant damage right just to the south of Germantown. And if it is still on the ground, it'd be over Gaithersburg. From what we are seeing right now in the velocities, let's see what the latest update is here. We'll have an update in just a moment. And by the way, this tornado was confirmed by weather spotters, and also by radar, but it was initially confirmed by weather spotters. Let's see what the looks like here on radar. Gaithersburg lucked out. I'm not sure yet. We're trying to get a velocities update here. The radar's not updating. If this tornado is still on the ground, though, again, it would be right over the south side of Gaithersburg. This radar's just not working at all anymore. Hello? Work radar, please. This is not the time to glitch out. This is a live shot of that storm right now. Wow. That is your tornado, or at least a lowering or funnel cloud. That is it right there. That would be what we're looking at. So the radar's not updating, but that right there would be right over Gaithersburg. That would be your tornado. Wow. That is unbelievable. I'm not sure why the camera went back to the road. Let's look at the actual storm, please. Traffic is really not important right now. That right there would be, oh, power flash. Yeah, your tornado, actually, I think the tornado is right there. So this is still on the ground in Gaithersburg. So still have a confirmed tornado for sure on the ground in Gaithersburg, and see that this would be your rotation in the clouds here. So that's a little bit off the ground. Power flash there in the middle. That is a tornado still in progress. There goes another power flash. This is still on the ground. So we still have a tornado in progress here in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Again, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. Get into the most interior room of your home or building. If you are in Gaithersburg or anywhere in that particular pink polygon I just showed you here in Maryland, again, this is still definitely on the ground. It may have just recycled. I think that's what just happened, because this is 100% still on the ground here. There's just no doubt. We still have a tornado in progress. And there's power flashes. There goes another one. Yeah, this is still on the ground. I wish I was in the studio. I would be able to show you guys everything. It's just unfortunate. We're not in the right place. We'll go back to radar in a second. But this is obviously what you're seeing here is a tornado that's in progress. Again, right over Gaithersburg, Maryland. Moving east towards Olney. Let me pull up all the locations here real quick. This tornado, for reference, yeah, this is definitely on the ground. It just recycled. That's what happened. So Redland, Durwood, Brookville, Olney, Ashton, all in the track of this large tornado that is still on the ground. We've had multiple power flashes here in the middle of your screen. This tornado is probably rain wrapped right now. You can't really see it. It's gonna be back there in the rain. We'll wait here for a few more seconds, then we'll go back to radar. But Brookville, Olney, Ashton, all in the track of this particular large and strong tornado. Again, you need to get underground if you can. If not, get to the safest place like a bathroom or a closet and away from windows, as there is, again, a large tornado that is currently in progress here in Maryland for Redland, Olney, Brookville. Those are the main locations currently in the track of this. Now, after this, it will eventually go towards Dayton and Columbia and Highland. And that right there, again, is your tornado. You can see it. That's your tornado back there. This is the rotating clouds here, low-level clouds rotating. So that's where, funnel cloud is, the wall cloud, all that sort of stuff right there. The tornado itself is going to be back in here. So that is your large and strong tornado. It's more than likely rain wrapped right now. This is just unbelievable what we're seeing here. I cannot believe we're dealing with this sort of tornado today. It's unbelievable. 2024 has been insane. Again, this is the live radar. So your large tornado is going to be right over Redland probably right now. So this tornado is going to be moving right into Redland, eventually approaching Olney and Brookville. Those will be the locations in the track of this. Highland, Clarksville, Dayton, Fulton. You all need to be ready, as this tornado will be heading into your area here momentarily. If it does stay on the ground, Columbia, be ready as well. If you enter tornado warning, be ready. You might get under one here pretty soon with this particular tornado. Again, this is just a big tornado right now that's on the ground in Maryland. We don't have a great visual of this anymore. It's going to be probably rain wrapped back in here. We apparently have a tornado warning in Bexar, Louisiana. Or sorry, Alabama, not Louisiana. Bexar, Alabama. There's apparently a tornado warning down there too. This is just insane. All right, let's go back to radar real quick. Let me update you on all the other storms. We currently have 5 tornado warnings. We have 8 severe thunderstorm warnings, all right? So again, this is your large and strong tornado. This is still producing significant damage. I mean, the debris signature is still big on this. It's unfortunate, but we still have a damaging tornado right now over the east side of Gaithersburg, and it's going to be approaching Redland, eventually towards Olney and Brookville. So all those locations will be in the track of this, eventually towards Columbia. We also have a tornado warning north of Westminster. We have a tornado warning just to the south of Bel Air. A tornado warning, nothing confirmed on those 2 storms. And then if we go back to the south, we also have 2 tornado warnings back over in Alabama and Mississippi. This is going to be a QLCS tornado, and that's also on the ground. So we have another tornado in progress heading in the direction of Bexar. This is a confirmed tornado. They've just confirmed it on the warning back over here in Alabama. But this is right along the Mississippi and Alabama border, where we do have a large and strong, or at least a tornado on the ground. Sorry, not large and strong, but there is a tornado on the ground there embedded in that circulation. That'll eventually be heading towards Highway 19, eventually towards Vienna, and as well as Hodges. So those will be the next areas in the track of that particular tornado. Let's go back to the one west of Columbia here in Maryland, as we still do have a tornado in progress. Again, we have clear visual of power flashes, so this is, again, still on the ground right now. Moving eastbound, approaching Olney. It's eventually going to be approaching Brookville. So if you are in those locations, you need to make sure that you are getting underground or seeking shelter, and this is a very populated area here in Maryland. And we still have a clear visual of there being a tornado in progress here, moving to the east-northeast, going towards Brookville, and as well as Sunshine. So those areas will be in the track of this over the next several minutes. You need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. We should have another radar scan here in just a moment, and we'll see what it looks like. We still have a live shot of this storm, so I'm keeping a close eye on that too. We have multiple cameras in this area, so any visual that we can get and try to verify this still, we'll keep you posted. I'm trying to get some more shots of this here. Give me 1 second. Where is this town? Germantown, okay. And if you're just tuning in, large and strong tornado on the ground here in Maryland. This is a live shot of that tornado, or we just kind of lost it, but it's back over here to the left. Here they go. This would be your tornado. It would be back in here somewhere. They are zooming this camera all over the place. That tornado, if it's still on the ground, which it likely is, it's going to be back in here. And now they're zooming in. It looks like they're going to try to zoom in and see what we can see here. That tornado is back in there. You can still see the rotation in the clouds too. A lot of spin. Tornado is probably still rain wrapped. We've had no clear visual of a tornado. We've only been able to see just power flashes embedded in that rain. So there is definitely a tornado here. So yeah, if you are in this particular tornado warning, you do need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible for Olney, Brookville, and as well as Sunshine. And if this tornado is still on the ground, it actually might not be as rain-wrapped as before, but it would be right there near Redland. That is presumably where this tornado would currently be. The rotation is not nearly as tight and confined as before, but it is still strong enough to the point where we could have a large and strong tornado on the ground. And there's also a chance this recycles again. This particular storm, we've seen it recycle multiple times now. At least twice, and it could happen again. So you need to continue to stay in that safe place if you are in this particular area. Stay away from windows, all that sort of stuff. Just take shelter if you're in this particular area. Seeing if we have any other shot of this storm right now. But yeah, this is definitely no joke. This is unfortunately still possibly a big tornado. Here's another live shot here near Redland. Wind is picking up here. I just saw lightning or a power flash, one of the two back here in the background. We might see something here too in Redland. Durwood cam? Where's Durwood? Find Durwood. Is this still? I'm guessing this is still on the ground. Where in the world is Durwood? Okay, I got one Durwood. I'm talking about this right here. That would be Durwood right there. I'm guessing this is the one that we're talking about. There's definitely a lowering on the right side of your screen. You just can't really see it. I mean, if there's a tornado, it'll be back in here. At the very top right of your screen. I mean, that's what I'm guessing we're trying to look at here. Cam 57? What's Cam 57? This one right here? This will be Cam 57. I don't see anything here. Yeah, there's a lot of people out on the road. There's an ambulance, it looks like, too. There's definitely going to be damage in this area. First responders probably already on the scene to a lot of the damage that we have right now. Again, this is just not a good situation, obviously. This is a very, populated area here in Maryland. I'm not seeing anything on this live camera, but this is a very populated area. And what we just witnessed, and it's probably still on the ground. I mean, we still have a debris signature here on the southeast side of Redland. There is still more than likely a tornado right now heading to the east-northeast. They have downgraded this, so it's no longer a PDS tornado warning, but it is still a tornado on the ground here. So again, if you're in this warning, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and stay on the lowest floor possible if you're near Olney or Brookville. This is still a tornado that is in progress right now. Not PDS anymore, but it is still producing significant damage. There's multiple cameras in this area. I'm still watching them closely, so again, if we do see anything, I'll keep you posted. My stream is lagging out here. Give me 1 second here. And that would be your tornado. It's still on the ground. We still got a debris signature, so it hasn't. It might have. I think it's still on the ground, but that's your debris signature. It's right along Highway 200 right now. This shocked me. I mean, it shocked me too. I wasn't expecting it alive today. I don't think anybody expected a large tornado like this on the ground here today in Maryland, and it's still going. Even though the velocities don't show it clearly, this is definitely still a tornado. We still have a debris signature right now. 200. Now, I've been looking at I looked at Cam 57. I don't see anything on that one. There's a lot of people that are like pulling off to the side of the road too. I think a lot of people realize that there is a beast of a tornado that's been on the ground here for several minutes, and we still have a debris signature. So there's still flying debris in the atmosphere. At the very beginning of this tornado, we saw it too. We saw, you know, debris being lifted up into the atmosphere, and we still have that ongoing here near Olney. And it's going to be approaching Brookville and the Sunshine area. I mean, this is still definitely a tornado right now heading to the east-northeast. So again, if you're anywhere in this pink polygon, you still got to be in your safe place. Even though it's not a quote-unquote PDS tornado, this is still a tornado that's on the ground that's going to be producing damage, and there's still a lot of flying debris. That's the other concerning thing here. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of flying debris. We saw a lot of flying debris earlier as well when we're on that Fertz live cam. If you remember, there's still stuff flying in the sky. We still have that happening right now. So you need to be taking this seriously if you're still in the pink polygon. Obviously, it's again not a PDS, but it is still a tornado that is 100% still on the ground right now with a pretty sizable debris signature. This thing is still going. I mean, we still got a clear debris signature over the north side of Highway 200, and it's going to be going right into Olney. And Olney is not a small town either. Again, Olney is another place where it is pretty populated. Unfortunately, it's another populated location. Just a quick update, we do have a tornado that was on the ground back over here in Alabama. This may have occluded, but this was on the ground. Let me just check real quick. Looks like we don't, I'm not seeing anything clear anymore, but if we do have a tornado on the ground, it'd be near Highway 19. All right, so that would be where that tornado is currently on the ground if we still have one that's in progress. So if you are in that particular warning, that is going to be for those in Marion County, Alabama. Continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. And then once again, we still have a tornado that is in progress right now heading towards the Olney area here in Maryland. We still have a debris signature that's more than likely still debris that is being lifted up into the atmosphere. This will be going right into Olney, which again, Olney is a pretty populated area here in Maryland. So if you're in Olney, you need to be in your safe place now. Get underground if you can, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building if you're able to. That is where you need to be right now, as we still have a tornado more than likely on the ground. If it's not on the ground, we still at least have debris that is in the atmosphere. So at the bare minimum, we still have debris that is in the atmosphere moving to the east, and it's going to be moving towards areas like Olney, and down the road, Fulton, and as well as Highland, Clarksville, Dayton, and Columbia, Maryland will all also be in the track of this. So those areas, you also need to be staying vigilant and stay weather aware, as this storm will continue to push to the east over the next several minutes. By the way, if you do see any cams at work, just let me know in chat. I'm not seeing anything clear right now. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was, for those that are wondering how in the world did this happen, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I looked at the forecast this morning. I, made the decision. We're not going to go live today. I didn't think there'd be anything crazy. This obviously has come kind of out of nowhere. It's come out of left field. There was a 2% tornado risk here, for the record. But with that said, this was not really in the playing cards today. And I don't think anybody expected to see a tornado like this hit Maryland. And the debris signature that we saw on radar was quite significant. Now, granted, this is a pretty populated area. There's a lot of trees and whatnot, so that's also going to be factored into the debris signature, but this is still pretty crazy. Crazy stuff. I think it is weakening, but it's not fully done. I think there is still at least something on the ground here, approaching the west side of Olney right now. I still think we have a tornado on the ground. It might not be, you know, a big one, but it's at least still on the ground with some debris being lifted up still. There's pictures on X. I literally have nothing open. I'll try to open Twitter real quick. Let me look. If you guys do see any photos or videos on Twitter, you can at me at MaxVelocityWX. Again, for those that are wondering, we're not in the studio. I was not ready for this. I literally rushed in to go live. This is not something that, you know, I was ready for. This is a video of this tornado from that that camera here in Maryland. This is from earlier. This is about 15 minutes ago. You can see that tornado dropping here in real time. And this was obviously a large tornado. You should be able to see the power flashes, I think, here as well. Maybe. The power flashes were really quick, so I'm not sure if we'll see them. Yeah, you didn't see them. But this was when the tornado happened here in Maryland. So that's when we had the second one. For what it's worth, I believe we had 2 different tornadoes. And I think we still have one, by the way. I think we still have one in Olney. So I think there's still something on the ground here. If you're in Olney, you need to continue to stay in your safe place. But yeah, let's go to the velocities here. Yeah, I still think we have at least something on the ground right now going into Olney. I still think that would be, if this is still on the ground, that would be the tornado. It'd be moving right into Olney. We still at least have some level of a debris signature there, whether that is debris from earlier or it's still on the ground, whatever it might be. This is still possibly on the ground right now. So if you're in Olney, continue to stay in your safe place. Even if it's not on the ground, there's, you know, really no reason to not be in your safe place right now. This has definitely been a dangerous tornado, and if it's still on the ground, it is still going to be dangerous. So, again, make sure that you're staying in your safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. We don't really have any live shots in this area, so we're not probably going to be able to see this. I'm not sure if we've had anything confirmed here in the last couple of minutes. Does anybody know if this is, like, still on the ground? I'm guessing it is. I'm just wondering if there's any visual of it. If anybody knows, let me know. How long's it been on the ground? This has been on the ground probably for... When did we start the stream? It's been on the ground for about 40-45 minutes. This has been on the ground for quite a while. This has not been on the ground for like 5 minutes. I mean, we've been live for about 36 minutes now, and it's been on the ground this entire time, basically. Just saw it on camera? Okay, so this is still on the ground. So that right there would be your debris signature. This would be moving right into Olney. So, again, if you're in Olney, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible. They have issued a new tornado warning out in front of this as well. That is going to include areas near Columbia, as well as Savage, and as well as just south of Ellicott City. So just to the west of Baltimore. So if you are in this pink polygon, seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building, as we still do have a possibility for a tornado as this does continue to the east. It'll eventually be moving in the direction of Highland, and as well as Fulton, as well as Savage, Waterloo, Hanover, Harmons, all in Maryland. You need to get into your safe place now. Columbia is another very populated area. Obviously, Baltimore's pretty populated, and so this is not an area that, you know, is rule like what we've been talking about for the last several days. And so if you know anybody in this warning, give them a call or text, make sure that they're getting to their safe place. Feel free to share the stream with them. We'll be live through this entire warning, even though we don't have the, you know, setup that we usually do. We can still give you the information that you need as this tornado does continue to track to the east, as there is still likely something on the ground over Olney. And even if it's not on the ground, this could very well recycle as it does continue to move east over the next several minutes. It is going to be on track for the south side of Baltimore if it can stay alive for that long. It is currently 8 o'clock Eastern time. I know we're on Central time, but it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. So it's obviously getting close to sunset. Many areas the sun is going to be setting here soon, and that should eventually allow for daylight heating to kind of dwindle a little bit, and that should eventually allow for these storms to weaken, hopefully after 8:30 or 9. That's the hope. But for the next 30 minutes to an hour, I think we're still going to have this potential for a tornado. I don't think that threat is done yet. Time at the top left has just been fixed, by the way, so that's fixed. But again, this is right now moving east, going towards Columbia. Is this... This might be debris fallout. This could possibly... I'll have to go back in time. That right there might even be debris fallout that's going all the way towards Columbia from this initial tornado. Let me go back a few frames here. Is that debris? That might... I think that's debris fallout. See the correlation coefficient here? This is all from the tornado earlier. I'm pretty sure that's just all debris fallout from that tornado. Holy cow. That's unbelievable. And this tornado, if it's still on the ground, which it probably is, this is going to be over near Olney, near Brookville. By the way, Ken, I got you. It's in the description. I got it all set up. It's recycling. It's probably recycling. I think it's still on the ground, though. I still think this is on the ground, the southeast side of Olney. I mean, there's still a debris signature there. That's unbelievable, though. Why is this not a tornado emergency? Well, I don't think the tornado, one, is as large as before. And two, it's not as large as before. It's not as strong as before. There's not as much confidence that this is a potentially catastrophic tornado. I'm not sure if it ever was. We don't really know. I don't have any sort of confirmed damage reports quite yet, but this more than likely produced some pretty significant damage back near Gaithersburg, and it possibly is still producing damage in Olney right now. Still trying to see if we have any other live shots of this. Give me 1 second here. A lot of various cameras in this area. I'm not seeing anything clear for Olney. I don't think we have any. I think our next live shot would be like the Colesville, what area is this? Colesville Park. That's like the next place they'll be able to see this, which is a little bit further east here. The latest update, by the way, is that this is back down to radar indicated. So I think the tornado that we have had is lifted for the time being. There's, again, a chance that this does try to recycle. So continue to stay in your safe place if you're in Columbia. If you remember, about 20 minutes ago or so, this tornado was large and strong near Germantown, and it recycled. It actually lifted, it looked like, for a couple minutes, and it dropped another tornado right over the east side of Gaithersburg. So I think we've had 2 different tornadoes now, and we're likely going to have another one here as this moves east. Near Eldersburg? Where's Eldersburg? Is that in here too? Is Eldersburg in Alabama? Where's Eldersburg? Or is that the Maryland? Is that the other unwarned in Eldersburg? Oh man. Is that that might actually be a tornado. I think that is. This might be an unwarned tornado right now, north of Eldersburg. That is. That's I believe, on the ground. This is radar indicated, but this is likely another tornado on the ground here in Maryland. Thank you guys for calling that out. Again, I don't have everything that I usually have here, but that right there near Eldersburg is more than likely another tornado that's on the ground near Eldersburg. Yeah, that's a tornado. So if you're in Louisville, if you're in the Reisterstown area, if you are north of Owings Mills, if you are in Glencoe, Pureford, Phoenix, any of those areas, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible. This is a different storm that is likely now producing a tornado as well. So this is going to be going towards the Reisterstown in Maryland, northwest of Baltimore. So another populated area here being hit by a tornado. So please, if you're in this warning, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. Yet again, this is another tornado that is currently more than likely on the ground right now, heading to the northeast. It looks like we have a pretty clear debris signature here, moving northeast towards Reisterstown. We have a live cam in Reisterstown, so I'm going to keep a close eye on that, see if we get any view of this as it gets closer. But again, presumably that is going to be a tornado right now. And yeah, that right there, a debris signature right now near Louisville and Gamber, heading towards Reisterstown, which is another very populated area here in Maryland. So you need to get underground if you can, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. Completely different storm here. That's also going to be producing a tornado. Plug in here. Again, our southern tornado warning for the time being has been downgraded to radar indicated. I would still stay in your safe place if you're in Columbia, as this could produce another tornado as this moves east and east-northeast over the next several minutes. Reisterstown? Is it Reisterstown? Okay. We have a new radar scan coming in here, so we'll see what this looks like. This is unbelievable. I mean, if this is another tornado that's large and strong, that's just unbelievable. This might be, too. I mean, the debris signature looks pretty clear to me. That tornado be right over Louisville right now. Let's check out the CC. Yeah, I mean, that's... Unfortunately, it looks like another, probably at least strong tornado that's on the ground near Louisville. Wow, that's just unbelievable. Northwest of Baltimore, again, for reference. We verify with the terminal radar site as well. Yeah, I mean, that's another tornado. So we have a tornado right now by radar that's near Louisville and Gamber, going towards Finksburg and Reisterstown. So if you're in any of those locations, you got to get underground. This is, again, a tornado warning, which is now observed. So this is obviously now officially observed. This is a tornado on the ground going towards Reisterstown, Maryland, Pleasant Grove, Boring, Butler, Pretty Boy, Hereford, Glencoe, Phoenix, Cockeysville, all in the track of this particular tornado. And you need to get underground if you can, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible, and again to an interior room of your home or building, as again, this is another tornado that is currently on the ground, moving in the direction of Reisterstown. So, or Reisterstown, whatever it is. Eventually going towards Phoenix, Glencoe, Hereford, and Butler. Long term, if this keeps going, it would eventually go towards Bel Air. So that'd be like the main location after this. And I still think the storm back over here near Columbia is attempting to recycle, so we could get another tornado with this as it does continue to move to the east towards Columbia and Savage. So that would be the next area in the track of this particular storm. So again, if you are in this warning, you need to continue to stay in your safe place. If it does try to drop a tornado, it would eventually be on track for those areas like Columbia, which again, that could very easily recycle over the next several minutes. Power flashes on Ashton Road camera near Sandy Springs. Where is Sandy Springs on here? I don't know where Sandy Springs is. Is that the southern tornado warning? Where is Sandy Springs? These maps are so confusing. Where is Sandy Springs here? I'm guessing that's the southern one. Is that the one we're talking about? Near Highland? This one right now is radar indicated, but I wouldn't be surprised. East of Olney. Let me check. Oh, yeah, this is the live shot. This is the southern tornado warning. Apparently there was just a power flash here on the southern tornado warning. This one's not currently confirmed, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was on the ground again. Yeah, I think this storm is recycling. I think it is. I don't see anything clear right now. This is the storm that we're talking about here, which right now, again, is still radar indicated, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was on the ground again, or if it is still on the ground heading towards Columbia. So again, if you are in Columbia or Waterloo or Savage, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. We have another tornado on the ground in Alabama, by the way. This is going to be back over near Russellville. If you are... Yeah, that's a debris signature there, too. We have another tornado on the ground northeast of Atwood going towards Glasgow Corner, Old Nauvoo, Bell Green, and Russellville, and Littleville, all on the track of another tornado on the ground here. This one's in Alabama, just to the northwest of Phil Campbell. So if you are in this warning, you also need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. That's unbelievable. This is a radar mega cyclone port here. I'm not seeing anything clear right now, but this is another live cam there. This is moving northeast, and so we have a rain-wrapped confirmed tornado right now heading off to the northeast, eventually going towards Russellville, Alabama. So you need to seek shelter if you're in that warning as well. Let's go back to Maryland again, where we still have a confirmed tornado that's going to be going towards Reisterstown. So if you are in Reisterstown, again, we got a big debris signature right now on the west side of Reisterstown. If you are in this warning, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building, as this is still producing a tornado, and that debris signature is not small. There's definitely still a tornado here. That would be where the tornado is. It's going to be near Bill Estates, near Gamber and Finksburg. That's where this current tornado is on the ground. And again, this storm down here to the south, back over near Highland and Fulton. I still think this one's recycling. This one could drop a tornado at any time as it goes towards Columbia. So Columbia will next be in track of this as this moves east. This is just unbelievable. By the way, if you guys do see any reports, please add me on Twitter. I'm going to try to relay information. Again, I'm dealing with 2 monitors. We are not in the studio. I'm trying my best to, do everything we can to, kind of keep you posted on all these warnings. It's just a lot of stuff for 2 monitors and a really crappy laptop. So I do apologize. We traveled today, so I don't think anybody was expecting something like this to evolve here. Trying our best here. But again, this is a tornado on the ground going towards Reisterstown here in Maryland. Again, please seek shelter if you're in this warning. Stay away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. Get into an interior room of your home or building, as this will continue to move east-northeast. A very populated town here, and Reisterstown is in the track of this. And also, we have another tornado warning. This is going to be the one back over northeast of Baltimore. So Aberdeen, Harvey Day Grace is also in the track of this. If you are in this pink polygon, you also need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. This area has been under, I think, like 3 different tornado warnings now. So yet again, another tornado warning just south of Bel Air. This one near Highland, again, I think might drop again. So if you're in Columbia, you got to get into your safe place. There's a possibility that this storm does produce another tornado here momentarily. And man, I think there's a different area of circulation possibly developing here just to the south of Reisterstown. The initial tornado that we had looks like it may have occluded. We have a new circulation right now on the southwest side of Reisterstown. So that would be the other area to watch for. Again, you need to seek shelter if you're in this warning. Get away from windows. Get on the lowest floor possible. Let's go back to Alabama again. We have a tornado on the ground in Alabama, too. This is in Franklin County, Alabama, south of Florence. We still have a tornado on the ground here. Wow, that's a big debris signature here, too. We have another tornado on the ground. This one could also be strong. Granted, this environment has a lot of trees, so keep that in mind. There's a lot of trees in this area, meaning that a lot of the debris could just be trees. But as this goes towards Highway 24 in Russellville, we have yet again another tornado that is currently in progress. So please, again, seek shelter if you're in this warning. Get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building, as this is another tornado on the ground going towards Russellville. This thing is definitely growing in size right now, and it is definitely going to be producing some damage as it moves off to the northeast over the next several minutes. But that is yet again another tornado. The radar was just updating. Yeah, that right there is your debris signature. So it's still definitely a tornado on the ground. Sorry. Going into the direction of Russellville and Littleville in Alabama. That is another tornado. Let's go back up to Maryland again. So again, the one near Reisterstown is still possibly on the ground. I think we have a new tornado, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. It's not as definitive as the last one. But if we have a tornado, it would be going towards Reisterstown, Maryland. And then the other one near Finksburg, this one is likely occluded. The rotation kind of took a left-hand turn here. So this rotation is occluded, but we still have a debris signature, which means that there is at least, at the bare minimum, if we don't have a tornado still on the ground, there's at least still debris fallout. So we still have debris in the atmosphere from that particular tornado northwest of Baltimore. Let's go back to velocities again. And so, yeah, if there's still a tornado, it would be somewhere on the west side right now of Reisterstown. So please seek shelter if you're in this warning. Get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. Interior room of your home or building. And if you're just tuning in, we have a bit of a small-scale tornado outbreak right now happening in Maryland, where we've now had multiple tornadoes across the western side of the state that have definitely been producing damage. And I think we are still a little ways away from this threat really, dwindling. I think we're still going to be in this threat for a while. This is now on the ground. So the new one that's on the ground is near Highland. New debris signature on this storm. So again, brand new tornado on the ground right now near Highland. Moving east, going towards Waterloo and Columbia and Elk Ridge and Hanover. So if you are in this particular tornado warning, you need to get underground if you can. Get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. Get into an interior room of your home or building. We have yet another tornado on the ground moving east-northeast, going in the direction of Columbia. So again, please get into your safe place if you're in this warning. This is another tornado that is currently in progress. And this one could also be on the stronger side of things. Again, we've had multiple tornadoes with this particular storm, and this is yet again another one. I am watching all the live cams very closely to see if we can get any sort of visual of this. There's a lot in this particular area, so we'll keep a close eye on that. This is right now heading towards Columbia. So again, this is your tornado right now on the ground, moving towards Highway 32, Highway 29, near Columbia, and eventually going towards Elk Ridge and Waterloo in Maryland. By the way, water, please. Whoever's there, water. This is just unbelievable. We again have 3 different storms right now that are on the ground. We have 3 different tornadoes that are on the ground right now. We got one near Reisterstown. All right, so this one's on the ground in Maryland. We have one near Reisterstown. That's going right over the town. So we have a tornado on the ground right now over the downtown area of Reisterstown. So that's still on the ground. We also have another one to the southwest of Baltimore near Columbia. And then we have another tornado on the ground in Alabama. So just to kind of keep up with what's happening right now, we got 3 different tornadoes in progress right now. We got the other one here in Alabama, which that's pretty much the largest debris signature that we have, but that's a lot of just debris fallout. Moving towards Russellville and Littleville. So this is on the ground moving northeast. Again, get underground if you can. Get into your safe place. If you're in a mobile home, get to a sturdy structure or get into a ditch, because mobile homes are not safe in this sort of situation. And we still got our tornado on the ground heading towards Columbia here in Maryland. And this one would be right in this little area here, moving towards Columbia and Route 29. Again, please seek shelter if you're in this particular pink polygon, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. Thank you, James. Okay, so the northern debris signature that we're looking at, this is, well, this right here is probably more clear. This is still possibly debris fallout. This would not be a tornado in this particular case. More than likely, it's at least debris. And then possibly a tornado over the Reisterstown area. That could also be clear air. But just in case, obviously, seek shelter. Either way, you should be in your safe place no matter what's going on. Because these are, again, dangerous storms and could very easily recycle and produce a potential for a tornado. I requested water. Tucker, water, please. I need water. Been live for an hour without a sip of water. Again, there are 3 tornadoes on the ground. We got one near Reisterstown, we got one near Fulton, and then we also have one back over in Alabama. We got the one going, this one's going again towards Columbia right now. We still possibly have a tornado over in Reisterstown. Let's go back down. We'll stay on this warning for now. We're spamming water in the chat. Oh my god. Okay, I got this for my water, just an FYI. I got the entire jug. I literally didn't even get a cup. I have this entire jug of water I'm drinking out of. That's just fantastic. All right. All right. So again, we still have a tornado on the ground going towards Columbia, moving east-northeast, going eventually towards Baltimore. And if you are in this pink polygon, continue to stay in your safe place. We still have a tornado more than likely on the ground. And if it is on the ground, it's going to be right here moving into Columbia, Maryland. All right, so that's where that tornado is currently heading towards. Moving east-northeast, just south of Ellicott City. We have another tornado warning as well. This one's going to be on another storm just south of Norrisville. Again, if you're in this particular warning, north of Bel Air, near Jarrettsville, Our Taylor, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building as this moves to the east-northeast over the next several minutes. We have a quadruplet area of tornado warnings right now in Maryland. We also have the tornado warning that's back down in Alabama, which is still confirmed. So we still have multiple tornadoes that are on the ground. We got 3, and we have 2 radar-indicated tornadoes. I mean, seriously, am I getting a cup, Tucker? Okay, we're good now. All right, let's go back down to Alabama real quick. We'll go back down to Alabama. The Franklin tornado warning. This one, from what we know, is still on the ground. Let's go back to live radar. And yeah, we still have a tornado that is maybe still on the ground. It's back down to radar indicated. If this tornado is still on the ground, it would be near Highway 24 approaching Russellville. So if you are in Russellville or Littleville here in Alabama, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, get to an interior room of your home or building. All of this here is debris from the previous tornado, but the circle here in the middle, that little donut that I just kind of drew, that is where the new tornado could be dropping. So as this moves to the northeast, it will be approaching Littleville and as well as Russellville. So again, if you're in this particular warning, please seek shelter. We could have a new tornado dropping with this. I mean, rotation's still strong enough to the point where we could have a tornado as that moves northeast. So still a dangerous storm right there. Let's go back to Maryland again. So again, this storm near Columbia is still as of now observed. If this is still on the ground, it'll be near Clarksville Ridge, Pembroke Knolls, and eventually going towards Hickory Ridge. So on the southwest side of Columbia, if this tornado is still on the ground, which we think it is, it'll be moving east-northeast towards Columbia. So if you're in this warning, again, seek shelter, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. Let me see if we have any view of this. This is going to be going right into Columbia. This is in Columbia right now. Again, there's a lot of traffic out here. I don't think we're gonna be able to see anything on this, but there is a ton of traffic here. So, unfortunately, Maryland, again, this particular part of Maryland, it's not small. There's a lot of people here. But this is still a confirmed tornado right now that's heading in the direction of Columbia. There's a lot of people out there right now. And that right there will be your tornado, moving east-northeast. So seek shelter if you're in Columbia. This is still as of right now observed. The northern tornado warning in Maryland is still as of now a confirmed tornado. Not seeing anything clear on the debris signature, but if we still have a tornado, it would be on the east side of Reisterstown, Maryland, eventually going towards Cockeysville, Glencoe, and Pretty Boy, and as well as Butler and Oregon. All those areas included in this particular tornado warning where we may still have a tornado on the ground. This was again observed most recently at 8:18 p.m., which right now it's 8:25. So about 7 minutes ago, this was still a radar confirmed tornado, but it could still be on the ground. So continue to stay in your safe place if you're in that warning. We have 2 other tornado warnings that are off to the east of these 2. These ones are overall broader circulation. If we have a tornado on the ground on this one near the Edgewood area, it would be on the ground near Edgewood. So if we have a tornado, that is where it'd be. The other storm, no debris signature, nothing confirmed on that one, back over near Jarrettsville, Maryland. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the tornado warnings right now in Maryland. The one near Columbia still remains the most concerning, in my opinion. This one's been the one that's produced already a couple of large tornadoes, and it might produce another one. So we're going to continue to watch this storm very closely as it does continue to move to the east and east-northeast over the next several minutes, eventually going towards Baltimore. So Baltimore, Maryland, stay weather aware. We have a new tornado warning for Owings Mills and as well as near the Reisterstown area. So if you're in this warning, you also need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. As yet again, this is another storm that could produce a tornado at any time as this moves to the east and east-northeast over the next several minutes. So again, please seek shelter if you're in this particular warning.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Okay, we got the audio fixed, by the way, so the audio should be working now. All right. So again, tornado possibly still on the ground near Columbia. It's not as clear on radar. We don't have a debris signature, but if we have a tornado, it would be moving into Columbia right now in Maryland. Again, Columbia is a pretty populated area, so more than likely we still have a tornado here going right into Columbia as we speak. So again, if you're in Columbia, continue to stay in your safe place in case this is still on the ground right now. Continue to stay in that safe place, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. All right, we got everything fixed. All right, we're good. The storm is probably cycling at the bare minimum. They have downgraded its radar indicated. I still think this is the most concerning storm as it is very discreet. And in this particular environment where this storm has gone, it has been it has a history of producing tornadoes. All right. So there's a possibility that as it goes towards Glen Burnie or Dundalk or, Baltimore, it could still produce another tornado. This one, again, has produced already 3 different tornadoes from what we know. It could produce another one. So, again, just continue to stay vigilant if you're in Baltimore. If you're in Baltimore, you don't have to seek shelter or anything like that because you're not in the warning, but just stay weather aware because that will be another area to watch for as this moves to the east. All right. Let's see here. All these other ones are radar indicated. The only one that is currently confirmed is the one near Butler, Maryland. Let's go to Alabama again real quick. Let's check out and see if this is still possibly on the ground here. Okay, so the debris signature on the one in Russellville is still not very definitive. So the one going towards Littleville and Russellville, that one does not appear to be on the ground anymore. We do have another circulation, though, so we have a couple. We have a new circulation developing just to the southwest of Littleville. This is one near Cedar Creek Reservoir. So we might get a new pink polygon here, which would be another tornado warning. That would eventually be going towards the Tuscumbia area here in northwestern Alabama. Now, the one near Russellville still strong enough to produce a tornado, but that's a new circulation that I'm seeing there that is not really part of the current warning. So just keep that in mind. All right, every warning at this exact time has been downgraded back to radar indicated. So for the time being, everything is radar indicated. With that said, any of these could drop tornadoes again at any time. So just continue to stay very weather aware. All right, we're changing that there. All right, we'll go back to Maryland for the time being. All right. This is crazy. Lowering on the camera. Which camera are we talking about? If you guys do see anything on any of the cameras, let me know, and I'll try to flip over to them. There's a lot of different cameras. We got one camera looking at the Columbia storm. The top of your screen, it looks like there's something, but it's too hard to tell. Yeah, can't really tell what that is. Can't tell if it's just like bird poop on the camera or something like that. I really can't tell. Yeah, all right, so I'm already on this one. This is the one that we're looking at. There's some sort of lowering by the looks of it up here. Can't really tell. That right there looks like something, though. It's just so hard to tell. I wish this camera moved. Right there at the top of your screen. Looks like some sort of lowering. We have now a new tornado warning in Ohio. What in the world's happening? We have a tornado warning now in Ohio.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
This is going to be on the storm that's back over north of Columbus. And this is on the ground. If you're in this warning, you need to seek shelter away from windows and on the lowest floor possible.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
So we now have a tornado on the ground in Ohio. So this is going to be near Mount Vernon and Centerburg. So if you are in this warning, you need to seek shelter away from windows and also on the lowest floor possible. This again moving east right now, going towards Gambier and Martinsburg, where we have another tornado. This would be where it is. It's going to be right over Centersburg. It's going to be traveling right along this roadway between Centerburg and Brandon near 657. So the 657 road. So that's now a confirmed tornado moving east. So if you are in Knox, Licking, or Morrow County, Ohio, you need to seek shelter away from windows and on the lowest floor possible as there is a confirmed tornado. It's observed in this area. Emergency management reported a tornado in this area for, again, just northeast of Columbus. There's yet again another tornado on the ground. And that rotation, look at that. That is it right there. This has actually been pretty strong for several scans. I wouldn't be surprised if this tornado's been on the ground for a little while. It's just unbelievable. We have 7 tornado warnings right now on a marginal risk day. That's just crazy. And this is our only confirmed one right now. So the one that's confirmed right now here is in Ohio, eventually moving towards areas like Mount Vernon, Martinsburg, Brandon, Bangs, all those areas currently on the track of this particular tornado on the ground in Ohio. So if you are in this warning, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior room of your home or building, and away from windows. I am getting absolutely spammed on Twitter right now. If you guys have any reports, just at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. I'm trying to relay information as well here. By the way, you guys don't have to at me in tornado warnings on Twitter. I already can see them. I don't need tornado warnings mentioned on Twitter. Just any reports that you see, anything like that, you can at me on Twitter. Any like actual reports of there being a tornado or anything like that. This is the terminal radar site here in Ohio. That right there is your tornado, heading towards Five Corners, Brandon, and Hunt. Mount Vernon is in this warning. From what we're seeing on radar, this is basically moving in an easterly direction. So as long as it continues to move east, it'll probably avoid Mount Vernon. But if you're Mount Vernon, just take it safe. You know, go to your safe place just in case. As this is not far from you and you are in the pink polygon. So if you're in the pink polygon, obviously make sure to heed warning, as this storm, you can actually see the hook on the radar. This is, again, the terminal radar site. So you might be thinking this just looks like a shower. Well, it's actually not measuring the entire atmosphere of reflectivity value. So just keep that in mind. It's definitely a thunderstorm. It might not look like it on the terminal radar site, but this is definitely a tornado that's on the ground, or is possibly still on the ground, moving towards Myers Corners and Five Corners in Ohio. Back to the Columbia rotation. That looks like possibly some debris. Let me see if we have any live shot of this. There might be another tornado on the ground. This would be heading in the direction of Elk Ridge and Relay. There is a Texas Roadhouse that's in the track of this storm. There's possibly a tornado on the ground. It's not confirmed, but it's hard to tell because it's such a low precip little area. But that'll be going eventually towards, let me check this radar site here. If this is on the ground, it'd be going right in the direction of the Bonnie Acres and Garian Orchards. If it is on the ground. Nothing really clear and confined here, but that rotation is definitely strong enough to have a tornado. And again, this is a storm that has a history of producing a tornado. If it is on the ground, it'd be over Highway 175, eventually approaching the Interstate 95 stretch here, just to the northwest of a Costco Supercenter, or wholesale center, sorry, if this is on the ground. Let me go back to the northern cell here. We have two other tornado warnings up here to the north. We got one near Owings Mills, and we got the other one near Butler and Glencoe and Phoenix. Again, the one near Phoenix is they're kind of merging together here, so the tornado risk up here is going to kind of be in one cell probably here in a minute. These are two different storms that we're warned for. That northern cell that initially did produce a tornado is slowing down. The other one's kind of going a bit faster. They're going to kind of merge together. And this storm would be the next one to really watch for a tornado risk. Down the road, Falston and Bel Air would be in the track of this particular storm. Short term, Towson, the Lakes, Long Green will all be in the track of this particular storm. So again, make sure that you're seeking shelter if you're in this area, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. Again, this one might be on the ground too. It's not confirmed right now. Let's go back to Ohio. Yeah, we got a confirmed tornado on the ground in Ohio. This is going to be near Myers Corner. The northern radar site actually shows pretty strong area rotation there. And this is looking well up into the atmosphere for reference, but this right here is where we're looking for that tornado right now. This is the only one that we have confirmed right now would be this one. We have yet again another tornado warning.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
We have a tornado warning now in New Jersey and Delaware. This is mainly for Delaware. This is going to be near the Townsend and Collins Beach area, where we have another tornado warning with another strong area of rotation. That right there is going to be a rotation there near Townsend going towards Collins Beach. So if you are in this warning, you also need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, as we do have another possibility for a tornado with this storm. That's going to be back over in New Jersey now. moving east-northeast. We are now up to 8 tornado warnings right now. The majority of them in Maryland. One of them just got canceled. But we still have plenty of warnings out there, with 7 tornado warnings and at least 1 tornado on the ground. That tornado on the ground is back over in Ohio. We may have a tornado right now near Highway 100, just to the west of Baltimore, just to the east of Columbia. The storm does have a history of producing tornadoes, so again, this could be on the ground. If you're in this area, again, please get underground if you can. If you know any friends or family in these warnings, give them a heads up, give them a call or text, make sure that they're ready. This is a live shot on one of these cameras from that storm near Columbia. I'm not sure if we're going to see anything. We'll stay here for just a second. By the way, for anybody that is like a mod or anything like that, if you guys do see any reports, you can at me on Discord, but please only in like certain chats. I'm trying to relay information, but it's really hard with only one monitor here. So I'm trying to get through some of these other reports, see if we have anything new that's confirmed, whatnot. All right, a report coming out of Gaithersburg. There is a building collapse that was confirmed. There's people trapped on 405 Dogwood Drive, according to Montgomery Fire Wire. That is a report coming out of there, that there is a building that has collapsed there. So that's the latest there. I'm not seeing anything on that camera. This looks like it could be a tornado right now over Bonnie Acres. There's possibly a tornado right now on the east side of Columbia. Let me check the terminal radar again. It's such a low precip area. I mean, look at this hook echo. That's unbelievable. We could have a tornado on the ground. It's not completely clear, but I think we might have one. And if we do, it's going to be right here near Glen Mar, eventually moving east, going in the direction of Arbustus and Baltimore. Those will be the areas in the track of this. Not seeing anything officially confirmed on that, but that's the hook that we're talking about right now in this storm. 3 buildings in Poolsville collapsed, trapping people as well. Another report. And some of these reports, I'm not 100% sure if they're legitimate. I'm just kind of looking in chat a little bit here. Yeah, and presumably there's possibly a tornado right now on the ground on the east side of Montgomery Run. I'm going to be approaching Baltimore Highlands as well. Relay is going to be in the track of this. I mean, to me, this looks like a tornado, but again, if there is a tornado, it would be right there. If we match it up with the debris signature, this appears to me as if it is a tornado moving towards Relay, Arbustus, and this will eventually be going towards the southwest side of Baltimore. It's still radar indicated right now, but I think that one's going to be on the ground here in a second. If it isn't already. There's a pretty crazy hook echo on that storm from the southern radar site, the terminal one. And in addition to this, just for the record, it's not a storm that hasn't produced a tornado yet. This has produced 3 different tornadoes, and this is more than likely another one. So again, this is not like a new storm. This one's been capable of tornadoes here for quite a while, moving in the direction of Baltimore. So again, if you're in this warning, you gotta continue to stay in your safe place. If you're in Catonsville, Baltimore, be ready to get to that safe place if you are in those 2 locations. Obviously, you might not be, but you know, if you are, be ready, because you might have to get to your safe place here soon. Trying to see if we have any sort of indication of power flashes or anything right now in any of these areas. Bustus is another live cam there as well. Just trying to see if we have anything visually that I can confirm here on this particular storm. Nothing clear right now. This tornado is approaching Elk Ridge right now as well. It's definitely lightning, that's for sure. The wind's picking up quite a bit back over near that Walmart, or not Walmart, that Costco Center or whatever back over near Waterloo. So that's also something that's happening there. Obviously, that could be an indication of just damaging winds. It could also be a tornado. And I think this is a tornado. Either way, though, if you're in Arbustus or Baltimore, just be ready. If it is on the ground, again, it would be right here near Bonnie Acres. moving eastbound. If we match it up with the latest radar scan, it does not look as clear. So I'm not sure, again, if we're 100% on this tornado right now. But even if there isn't one, you should be in your safe place. This is not the one that's officially confirmed, by the way. The one that has been confirmed is in Ohio. Let's go back to Ohio real quickly. This is the one near Mount Vernon, which we've had a confirmed tornado here. It's back over northeast of Columbus, just to the west of Warsaw. So if you are in this particular warning, continue to stay in your safe place. That tornado looks like it's still on the ground, at least according to velocities. This, if it is still on the ground, will be just southwest of Mount Vernon, going towards Brandon and Martinsburg. So Martinsburg, Brandon, you all need to be in your safe place, as we have possibly still a tornado on the ground, which it still appears likely that we do right now.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
All right, there it is. Tornado warning now for Baltimore, Dundalk, Edgemoor, all in this new tornado warning. So again, if you're in Baltimore, you need to be in your safe place that's away from windows and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. This is, again, a new tornado warning now for Baltimore. So Baltimore, if you are in this warning, if you're watching right now and you're in this warning near Dundalk, Edgemoor, or Baltimore, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building, as this is possibly going to be producing a tornado as it does approach the Baltimore area. This is a storm that, again, has a history of producing tornadoes. This is not something that is coming out of left field here. This is something that's been producing tornadoes for quite a while. We've already had a few tornadoes with this, and every tornado so far that we've had with this particular storm has been damaging. So you need to make sure that you're staying in your safe place, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. Okay, let's go to here. There you go. All right, we got a live cam. The live cam at the bottom right, again, it's just kind of in there, but that live cam there is gonna be the one in Arbustus. So we'll have to wait and see if we see power flashes. But this right here, if there is a tornado, it's going to be going to Arbustus, which again is just on the southwest side of Baltimore. That live cam at the bottom right of your screen is where that is right now. So that if we see anything, you know, power flash wise, you know, that's probably going to be a tornado. So that's at least what we're going to be looking for here over the next few minutes as this goes towards Baltimore. Nothing officially confirmed on this storm. Again, it's still radar indicated rotation. The one near Owings Mills is still also radar indicated rotation. The one near Edgewood and Perryman is also radar indicated. If there is a tornado with this storm, it would be going into the water here. So it would be more of a water spout threat. And then the storm near Smyrna back over here in New Jersey and Delaware. This is right now in Delaware, north of Smyrna, is also has the potential to produce a tornado. So if you are in this particular warning, just continue to stay in your safe place, as this is still capable of producing a tornado as well. We have another, this is another possible tornado. This is as of 11 minutes ago in Columbia, Maryland. This is the storm going to Baltimore for reference. Give me 1 second to pull this up. This is from a possible tornado there in Columbia, Maryland. This is, again, about 10 minutes ago. So this is when we were talking about possibly there being a tornado on the ground. Back left here is where we're looking, right up here on the top left of your screen. Large wall cloud by the looks of it, large rotating wall cloud. And then if we go back, go ahead a little bit. Yeah, that right there, you can actually see it. That looks like it at least possibly was on the ground. Right there at the end, you'll kind of see it a bit more. But that may have been on the ground there. In Columbia, Maryland, and that was about 10 minutes ago. And that's the same storm that we're looking at here near Baltimore that has the capability of producing a tornado as it moves to the east-northeast. So that's what we're currently looking at, going towards Arbustus. And no debris signature on radar right now, but still very capable of producing a tornado. The storm in Ohio is also no longer confirmed and on the ground. That one's just been downgraded to radar indicated. So that is no longer on the ground as of right now. Yes, Baltimore, again, is under the tornado warning. If you're in Baltimore, Middle River, Dundalk, Edgemoor, you need to be in your safe place. I'm not trying to say this stuff to scare you. Again, we're not trying to scare you here. We're just trying to let you know that this storm has produced multiple tornadoes already. It is very capable in this environment of producing one more tornado as it moves to the east. So if you're in Baltimore, Dundalk, don't, joke around with this. This isn't like a typical summer day where we just have maybe 1 or 2 tornado warnings in random places. That's not what it is today. This has kind of turned into a small scale tornado outbreak here in Maryland. and we've had several tornadoes that have produced damage at this point. So please, if you are in the Baltimore area, get to your safe place, get underground if you can. If not, get away from windows on the lowest floor possible. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get into a sturdy structure at the bare minimum. All right, let's go back to Alabama real quick, I think. Or is Alabama done? All right, Alabama's done for the time being. Let me go back to Ohio again. We still have the tornado warning in Ohio. That's for Mount Vernon. Again, this one got downgraded back to radar indicated. Rotation's still pretty strong here, though. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we still had a tornado, even if it's not observed. The rotation on radar is still pretty strong over 5 Corners and Brandon. So still strong rotation, heading towards Brandon, Morgan Center, and Martinsburg in Ohio. This, again, just northeast of Columbus. So if you're in this pink polygon as well, continue to stay in that safe place, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. All right. Again, that I honestly think is still on the ground, but nothing confirmed. We don't have any debris signature. We're just too far away from the radar site, but that rotation's still very strong. And I can see this being warned for a little while, even past this. So if this does continue to produce a tornado, it'll be eventually going towards Bladensburg, New Guilford, West Carlisle, Tunnel Hill, Coshcoton, all going to be in the track of that particular storm. All right, let's go back to Maryland and New Jersey and Delaware. Again, this year, tornado warning back over in Delaware. Rotation still not super strong, nothing tight and confined, but in this environment, we could still see a tornado as this goes towards Collins Beach. So if you're in Collins Beach, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. And somebody just said in chat, this is very rare for Maryland. I have to agree. This is not something you see very often in Maryland. With what we're seeing right now, this is not, you know, a typical severe weather event for Maryland. Again, going into today, we had a 2% tornado risk. That was it. And so, you know, it gives you an idea that, you know, sometimes things like this happen. Sometimes events really kind of get going, and this event has been that sort of situation. We've had multiple tornadoes at this point. So this storm right now that's going towards Baltimore over the last several minutes has had multiple funnel clouds. And it's pretty clear as day, at least on the live cam that we had back over there. This is a live shot from a little while ago. That right there is at least some sort of lowering, but possibly even a funnel cloud there in the middle. On the storm that's heading in the direction right now of Baltimore. So again, this storm has a history of producing, at least at the bare minimum, funnel clouds over the last 10 to 15 minutes. And it's very possible that this could still continue to produce a threat for a tornado. So again, if you're in Baltimore, Maryland right now, continue to stay vigilant, stay weather aware, get to that safe place. If you're Dundalk or Edgemere, you gotta be doing the same exact thing. And those areas are also in the track of this particular storm. And unfortunately right now, again, there's a lot of people on the roadways. Look at the bottom right of your screen on that live shot there out of, the Arbustus area, which is, you know, right in the track of where this tornado would be going towards if it's on the ground. There's a lot of people out there. I mean, this is not like a low populated area. There's a lot of people that live in Maryland, and it's very densely populated. And so the tornadoes that we've already had with this have already caused a lot of damage. And unfortunately, if this does happen, if we get another tornado with this storm, it could definitely be even worse than before. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Also, we do have a new tornado warning north of Columbus. This just got issued about a minute ago. That's near Richwood and Prospect. Broad circulation right now just east of West Mansfield, and we have another one now on this storm.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
So again, new tornado warning. South of Marion, just south of Clarendon, west of Cardington, east of Belafonte. If you are in this pink polygon, you also need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building, as we have another tornado warning here. It is radar indicated, so it's not on the ground, but there's a possibility that this does drop a tornado as it eventually moves to the east. So if you're in Prospect, Westfield, Waldo, Norton, any of those areas, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible, as this storm is capable of also producing a tornado as it moves to the east. All right, let's go back to, we'll go back to Baltimore here. We're mostly going to be focusing on the one near Baltimore unless something else drops, because the one near Baltimore right now is legitimately the most concerning. Again, we have 6 tornado warnings, all radar indicated. I'm going to see if we have any live shots on the storm near the Arbustus area right now. Here is one live shot on the storm that's going towards Baltimore. It's going to be hard to kind of see everything here, but at the very top of your screen, you'll see that lowering. We at least have that cloud base at the very top of your screen, very dark skies. Obviously, it's nighttime, so it's going to be hard to kind of see some of these details, but that would be your storm right there that we're looking at. We're looking northbound here on I-95. And that is the storm that's capable of a tornado just to the south there of Baltimore. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Let's see if we have anything else here. And this is still radar indicated as of right now. Now, if this does drop, I think we'll have pretty quick confirmation on it. Rotation, again, is going to be right over Arbustus right now. So Arbustus, that's where if there's a tornado, it would be right over Arbustus right now. This is a live shot, actually, out of Arbustus. And this is the storm on the right side of your screen right now. That would be, if we have a tornado, it's going to be back in here. So let's watch this and see if we see anything. If there is a tornado, it would be on the right side of your screen. Top right. And again, this is looking right into where the storm is. We're basically in it right now here in Arbustus, Maryland. Not seeing any power flashes, so that's at least a good sign for now. But again, top right of your screen is where we're going to be looking. Let me just put an arrow instead. Put a yellow arrow. See if we can see anything here. It looks like a large cloud base. I don't see anything definitively yet, at least hitting the ground here. It's hard to tell, though. It is nighttime, but you can kind of outline it. You can outline the storm. This is the outline right here. There's at least some sort of lowering in here. Again, this is live on I-695 at Wilkins Avenue in Arbustus, Maryland. Oh, that might have been just lightning. There was something in the background there. I think that was just lightning. There's definitely no clear power flash by any means. These storms are not producing that much lightning either. Just keep that in mind. So, there's not much lightning with these. I mean, if we have a tornado, it's going to be probably back in here somewhere. It's hard to tell, but it's going to be back in there. Kind of in the yellow circle. Not seeing anything clear right now. We'll stay here for about, like, 10 more seconds. I'll go back to radar. There's another... I don't know. It looks like... It's not really clearly lightning, either. There's another little flash there. I'm in Baltimore, lots of dark clouds. It's definitely going to be dark. It's nighttime, too. That doesn't help. It does not give you a good illusion at all. Here's the latest scan. Again, if we have a tornado, it would be near Lansdowne. So if we have... Oh, that might be... Unless that's just clear air. Let me check the other radar site. If we do have a tornado, it would be moving right over Arbustus right now. Which, to me, it looks like we might. We might have a tornado right now going towards the southwest side of Baltimore. It's not confirmed. It might just be clear air, but it looks like something's there. And we were just looking at that live cam in Arbustus, and it looked like there was a couple of flashes, but just nothing clear. But if we do have a tornado, it would be on the southwest side of Baltimore. Again, it's a low precip area. These can be sometimes a little bit difficult to tell. But if it's on the ground, it'd be going right into Baltimore, or southwest side of Baltimore right now. The velocities on the regional site. Oh, yeah, all right. This is now a confirmed tornado. All right. Confirmed tornado right now in Baltimore. You gotta seek shelter if you're in this warning.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
So again, this is a confirmed tornado right now on the southwest side of Baltimore. That was what we're looking at on screen. Those were power flashes. It was hard to tell. Bottom right of your screen, I think it's still going, but we have a tornado on the ground right now on the east side of Arbustus. It's not PDS. The tornado, at least by the looks of it, does not appear super strong, but there's at least a tornado on the ground that's going to be picking up debris. So if you are in Baltimore right now, you got to try to get underground if you can, get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. And this is heading in the direction of Baltimore right now, where there is going to be a tornado that is currently in progress, heading towards the south side of Baltimore, eventually towards the Dundalk area. It's on track to hit the M&T Bank Stadium in southern Baltimore. M&T Bank Stadium. I think that's the football stadium for the NFL that's there. Oriole Park is also in the track of this. I don't know if they're playing baseball there tonight, but there is at least some sort of tornado that's on the ground right now over Lakeland. And again, on the southwest side of Baltimore. It's right now near the Carroll Park Golf Course, and it's going to be making its approach here over the next few minutes towards areas like Pigtown, M&T Bank Stadium, and Oriole Park as well, which again that's the baseball stadium there in Baltimore. That is not what you want to see. I don't know if they're playing a game there tonight. Does anybody know? That right there is your tornado right now. It's right over Morrill Park. Yeah, this is on the ground. You gotta seek shelter if you're in this warning. In Baltimore. Game's in Toronto? Okay. So there's no game happening there, which is at least good news. Otherwise, that could be a little bit bad too.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
They have issued a new tornado warning for those near Edgewood as well, out in front of the storm. This does not appear pretty at all. This is a possibly... That debris signature is definitely not small. We got a tornado on the ground, and it's picking up some significant debris right now near Interstate 295 on the south side of Baltimore, right along Interstate 95. So unfortunately, this is not a small little tornado at this point. It at least appears as if there's at least some more significant debris that is being lifted up into the atmosphere on the south side of Baltimore. So again, if you are in Baltimore, you got to get into your safe places. We do have a tornado currently in progress. It's traveling right along Interstate 95 as we speak. I'm keeping a close eye on any live cams to see if we have any view of this particular tornado. But right now, if you're in Baltimore, Dundalk, you got to get into your safe place. That right there is a debris signature that we're looking at on radar here. This is a bit of an uptick from the last signature that we had on radar. As of right now, this is still observed. It's not PDS or anything like that, but that right there is a debris signature. We go back to the terminal radar site as well. This would be your tornado, and presumably right now it would be over Lakeland. At this exact time, it's crossing over Interstate 95 on the south side of Baltimore, and it will be approaching areas like Locust Point and eventually the Federal Hill. So in those particular areas on the south side of Baltimore is where that tornado would be going towards. This would be your tornado, though. Let's see what this radar scan shows. All right, so that's what we're looking at there. Let me go back to here. Again, that's a debris signature on the north side of Baltimore Highlands and also on the south side of Baltimore, Maryland. We do have a tornado in progress. Again, please seek shelter if you're in this warning. Away from windows, lowest floor possible. Interior room of your home or building. I'm watching another live cam right now and on the south side of Baltimore, so I'll see if I can see anything. Actually, I can probably change it on here. Let me change this real quick. One on the south side of Baltimore. We're going to pull up here. There you go. All right, that's the live view, bottom right of your screen. It's another live shot here. All right, so again, this tornado right now on the south side of Baltimore on the latest scan. So this is now going over near Federal Hill, Locust Point, South Baltimore, all currently in the particular track of this tornado, and it's right now along Interstate 95. Dundalk, Essex will be in the track of this, and again, that tornado is over the north side of Baltimore Highlands. As long as it is still on the ground, which we do think it is on the ground, it's going to be on the south side of Baltimore. So again, if you're in Baltimore, get underground if you're just tuning in. If you know any friends or family in Baltimore, give them a call or text. Please make sure that they're getting to their safe place and away from windows and on the lowest floor possible and in an interior room of your home or building. Unfortunately, this is, again, a very busy area. There's a lot of people on the roadways right now, and that tornado is probably over Interstate 95 right now. MDOT camera has power flashes. Are you talking about the one I'm looking at right now? Oh, yeah, there's power flashes. Yeah, I'm seeing them. Right side of your screen. There's multiple power flashes. There's a ton. Or is that just something flashing? There's something on the right side. This is looking a bit more to the south west, so we'd be kind of looking at the very top right of your screen. I think there's power flashes, though, out this direction, because this is right on I-95. So presumably the tornado's back in there somewhere. I'm not seeing anything clear though. That looked like just like flashing. This camera's still shaking like crazy. This is also an I-95. This is where the tornado would be near as well. I-95 north. I don't think those are power flashes. I apologize. Those were not power flashes. I don't know what that was. There's something flashing. But the tornado's in this area here. There is probably a camera that's showing something. I just don't see it. Let's go back to live radar again. If you're just tuning in, we still have a tornado that is on the ground. And if it is still on the ground, it'll be on the South Baltimore area near Federal Hill. Locust Point's going to be hit by this. There is a little bit of a river here, so just keep that in mind. Obviously this is possibly just transitioned from like actually on the ground to maybe a water spout and now back on the ground over land here on the south side of Baltimore. It's going to be approaching Greektown, Brewers Hill, Bayview, Fastwood, Defense Heights, Rosedale, Essex, all on the track right now of this particular tornado. Again, this is our only confirmed tornado right now that we have. So if you're in the south side of Baltimore or anywhere in Baltimore in general in this pink polygon, you need to make sure that you are getting to your safe place now, get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. Interior room of your home or building. We still have a very clear debris signature on this storm. So there's definitely debris in the atmosphere at the bare minimum. And there's obviously a tornado right now on the south side of Baltimore. If you guys do see any reports on Twitter, you can at me at MaxVelocityWX. Trying to see if we got anything here. Let me check. Wow. I mean, this is the most recent radar scan. And there is still a clear signature on radar. Radar will update again in a second. Let me wait for that update. And there's still a clear as day tornado on the ground here, right there. So that's on the south side of Baltimore. So again, if you're in Baltimore right now, we still got a tornado in progress. At least a lot of debris in the atmosphere, but that's a tornado right now on the south side of Baltimore. Let me go back to the terminal site again. So this right here, this would be your tornado, just for record. That's it right there. Again, that tornado has just hit the south side or South Baltimore area near Riverside, and it's going to be going right over Locust Point, and it's also going to be heading towards Brewers Hill and Greektown. So that's where that tornado is. It's going to be that little green area here on the reflectivity. That is your tornado. It's where the hook is. It's on the southern. It's basically in the hook echo. That's where we'd be looking. So that's your tornado right there, right now. So the latest scan just shows it here as well. Near Federal Hill and in South Baltimore is where this tornado is still currently on the ground. Is there a power flash now? Let me go back to the camera. Here we go. Let's go back full cam to this. There's some random flashing happening on screen. I don't think these are power flashes, though. There's a lot of people being hit by this tornado, though. A ton of people. Such a densely populated area. Don't see anything right now. But again, this tornado right now is on the north side now of Interstate 95. Just south of Baltimore. There are power flashes. Let me see. I keep getting mentioned and stuff on Twitter. Oh, yeah, here you go. These are the power flashes. Power flashes, left side of your screen. That's your tornado right there. In south side of Baltimore. See them right there on the left side of your screen. This was moments ago. Clear as day power flashes. This is still on the ground right now in Baltimore. Yeah, unfortunately, this is just a damaging tornado, obviously, right now going through Baltimore. And that tornado, as we speak, would be going right into Greektown, Bayview, Eastwood, many other communities that are on the east side of Baltimore. So if you are in the east side of Baltimore, you got to seek shelter. We still got a pretty hefty debris signature right now moving in that direction. So definitely some debris in the atmosphere. Obviously, it's a very densely populated area, so naturally there is going to be some sort of debris signature with how much stuff is in this area. We have a lot of homes and buildings. We don't know the intensity of the tornado, obviously. That's something we really cannot determine on radar unless we got like a massive debris signature. To me, this looks just like a lot of debris, but nothing clear as day as like a, extremely large or very strong tornado or anything like that. But with that said, you want to seek shelter because flying debris is going to be very dangerous here. And as this goes towards Essex, Rosedale, and Rossville, all those areas are going to be in the track of this tornado that, once again, is producing some significant damage. Now, the most recent update here is that this is back down to radar indicated. I would still be in your safe place though. I still think, at least from what we're seeing on the CC radar, that there's at least some sort of debris fallout at the bare minimum. So there's at least still some debris in the atmosphere, and that could be in the air for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes. Now, with that said, even if it's not on the ground, it's still going to have that potential in addition to the threat for some damaging winds, and it's still in a very populated area. So, again, this tornado, for the record, began back near Arbustus, whatever it is, and it eventually moved towards Interstate 95. This right here would be your tornado over the last few scans. So it went through Mount Winans and Westport, and then eventually went into the south side of Baltimore. And this is possibly, if there's still a tornado, that would be where it is. It's going to be now just on the east side of Baltimore. Again, nothing clear in terms of a tornado. Again, a lot of what you're seeing here is probably debris fallout, but regardless of that, you still want to be in your safe place. This is at least, I think, the 4th time we've seen a tornado on the ground. And now we have another tornado on the ground on the other storm east of this.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground.
This is as of about 3 minutes ago, but this is a confirmed tornado near Bowley's quarters near Middle River. So we have another confirmed tornado on the ground here. This one is going to be located just off to the south of Edgewood. So this is yet again another tornado that's on the ground right now on the south side of Edgewood. If you are in this warning, you need to also seek shelter, get away from windows, and get on the lowest floor possible. Get into an interior room of your home or building. That's going to be east of Baltimore. That's going to be probably going into the river here, but it is at least on the ground as of right now. If you guys do see any other reports on Twitter, you can at me at MaxVelocityWX. Let me see. Let's see if we have any other reports here. And this one's the one that's confirmed. The one near Baltimore has lifted for the time being, but there is still debris in the atmosphere. So there's at least still a debris signature there. But, I mean, man, this is legitimately just a small-scale tornado outbreak here. Funnel cloud reported in Union City in Ohio. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Ohio really quickly, because I know the Ohio ones have also been rotating. Let's just check those quickly. We have the one north of Delaware. This one, let's check it out real quick. Broad circulation. North of Delaware, again, if you're in that warning, continue to stay in your safe place. The one near Mount Vernon has really been the most concerning here over the last little while. There's been rotation on this one for a while. That rotation's still on the stronger side of things, south of Mount Vernon near Hunt and Morgan Center, moving towards Martinsburg. So again, if you're in this warning, you need to continue to stay in your safe place. That rotation's still on the stronger side of things as that continues to move to the east over the next several minutes. Ohio warning woke me up. Yeah, I mean, what's happening right now is just astonishing. For a marginal risk day and also the environment, I was not expecting any of this. And I don't think anybody was. And we still have a tornado on the ground near Edgewood. And, this has already produced several tornadoes. We've at least had 6 in Maryland, I think now, which is going to be considered a quote-unquote tornado outbreak. This has undoubtedly been a tornado outbreak here across both Maryland and... even back into Ohio, we had a tornado. I mean, it's still going, too. Just unbelievable. I mean, just thinking about it, I'm glad I was able to go live when I did. Again, I am currently traveling. I am not in our weather studio. So this was definitely not expected. I should have probably stayed there, but I didn't think we would have anything today. All right, let me see if we have any other live cams here. We'll see if we can see anything. All right, again, this storm right now on the east side of Baltimore still has the potential to produce a tornado. We don't have anything confirmed as of right now in this storm. It is still radar indicated, the one east of Baltimore. The one near Edgewood is still, as of now, on the ground. So if you're in Edgewood, near Chelsea. You need to continue to stay in your safe place near Bush River, as there is still a tornado that's been observed here. This would be your tornado. It's going to be moving into the river here in a few minutes, but it is still over land for the time being. So presumably this is, again, still on the ground. It's rain wrapped as well, which does not help anybody. And then the other storm that's back over near Baltimore, if there is a tornado, it would be just off to the northeast of Baltimore. Let's go to the radar here. So again, this would be, if there's a tornado, it would be near Rosedale. Rotation does not look as strong as before, but this, again, could recycle. It's recycled already several times. There's a possibility it does recycle again as well.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
A new tornado warning in Ohio as well. This is for Knox County, Ohio. So if you are in Martinsburg, Bladensburg, Danville, Howard, Gambier, you need to seek shelter. We still have strong rotation right now east of Brandon, going towards Bladensburg and New Guilford and Newcastle. All in the track of this storm here with still strong circulation, and there's still a pretty solid chance that we could get a tornado with this as it does continue to move east. This one has already produced one, and it could produce another one as it moves to the east. So Mount Vernon, Gambier, Howard, Danville, Bladensburg, Martinsburg, Brandon, north of Utica, you all need to be in your safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building, as there is a potential here that we do get another tornado as this moves to the east over the next several minutes. That rotation, I mean, that rotation right now northwest of Morgan River is really strong. We do have some unwarned areas of broad circulation, or at least one, just to the southeast of Troy and east of Tip City. That's going towards Springfield, so just stay weather aware. It's broad. It's not really that impressive, but there's a possibility we get something with that as it moves east. That's not a warned area of rotation, just some broad circulation right now moving east. All right, so we're still watching for that as well. Let's go back to Maryland. Wow. I mean, this right here is your tornado over Bush River. So that's the tornado that we have confirmed right now. It's moving over Bush River in Maryland. This will eventually be going into Delaware, but right now just south of Perryman, south of Edgewood, that is where we still have a tornado on the ground. That's still very strong rotation. So that's where our tornado would be located, just to the east of Baltimore. The other one that's near Baltimore right now, as I mentioned before, is not on the ground, at least from what we know right now, but it could drop again as it moves towards Rosedale, Essex, Middle River, Rossville. It's right near Interstate 895 and eventually going towards Bowley's Quarters. So those areas will all be in the track of this particular storm. Still does have the chance to produce a tornado, as it has for a while now. But hopefully, the hope right now is that as these storms go over the river, they weaken some. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the hope right now. We're hoping that this just kind of weakens out as it goes into Delaware, but I still think we're a little ways from done with this particular event. And then we still got the tornadoes going on in Ohio. So there's two areas that we're looking at right now for this threat. All right, let me check Twitter again. Again, if you see any reports on Twitter, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. And your confirmed tornado right now is going to be south of Edgewood. And by the way, if you are in Baltimore, you are all clear. So if you are in Baltimore right now, you are fine. If you are in Rosedale, Rossville, or Essex, you need to continue to stay in your safe place. If you're in downtown Baltimore, you're good. All right? You are good as of right now. The amount of Twitter notifications I have is insane. I'm trying to get through some of these here. I'm seeing photos of these tornadoes even from earlier. These tornadoes they were no joke when they happened. I mean, there was a large tornado in Maryland. I'm retweeting the photo on Twitter. I mean, unbelievable. These were not small by any means. We had a PDS tornado warning to begin the stream back over in Western Maryland. That is, by the way, the same storm here that has been producing tornadoes for a while. This thing began back near Frederick, or Gaithersburg in particular. And this thing has produced 4 different tornadoes now, I believe. At least, maybe 5. It's been absolutely insane. Here are some power flashes as well. This is from another camera in Maryland. So you'll see at the top left of your screen, a couple of big power flashes. This was from a few moments ago. Let me go back to here. So this right here, big power flash there in the background. We had a couple big ones there near I-95 southbound. I-695, sorry, southbound. Few power flashes there as well. It's unbelievable. All right. So, just kind of a quick update here. We're down to 3 tornado warnings, which is good news. We have 1 in Ohio for Knox County. We have the one that's east of Baltimore right now, which is going to be eventually going towards Jopatown, Edgewood, Bowley's Quarters, all those areas in the track right now of this particular storm, all right? So that one still has a chance to produce a tornado. Has for a while, could produce another one. The one that's south of Chelsea right now is observed still. So this one's still on the ground. It's going to be probably going into the water here momentarily. But for the time being, this is still on the ground. If it is still on the ground, it'd be right over the south side of Chelsea, probably in some like marsh or something like that. Southeast of Edgewood, approaching Aberdeen, proving ground. All right, and eventually this is going to go towards the Bay View Estates and White Crystal Beach. So those areas need to be staying vigilant in Delaware, as that'll be the next area in the track of that storm. If we go back to Ohio, this is the one in Knox County. We do have some rotation here. Let me go to this. Let's go back to the live radar site here. So again, this is the other rotation that we've been talking about for a while. The initial one occluded. We have a new circulation developing here just to the south of Gambier. That rotation right there is still pretty strong, so we again could have a tornado with us at any time. If you are near Gambier right now, you need to be making sure that you're in your safe place, near Bladensburg, Martinsburg, or Danville, currently in Ohio. Just southeast of Mount Vernon, just northeast of Columbus. Again, that's where this tornado warning cell is. Down the road, this will be moving mostly east, going towards Newcastle, Warsaw, Kilbuck, Keene, and Coshocton. So if you're in those areas, continue to stay weather aware, as there's going to be a potential there for a tornado. Let's go back over to Maryland again. And we'll check out this storm first. The rotation on the storm near Chelsea is still strong enough to have a tornado, but it does look like this will be moving into the river. So again, that'll be moving right into the river. We're still watching the one also east of Baltimore. And if we have a tornado with this one, which it's, again, possible, we could get another one. It'll be right over Rossville, Maryland. All right. So that's the area that we're looking at right now for a tornado, just northeast of Baltimore. So again, continue to stay in your safe place. If you're near even White Marsh or Middle River, take shelter away from windows and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. Let me see if we have any other reports here. Let's see. Wow. I am retweeting a lot of stuff on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX of these tornadoes from earlier. If you want to check it out. Again, link to our Twitters in the description. If you have any reports, photos, videos, anything like that, you can also add us on Twitter. See here. All right, so we still have 3 tornado warnings. We got the one in Ohio. We got the one over here we got the one just east of Baltimore. We also got the one south of Edgewood, which is still confirmed. But that one, again, is likely now moving into the ocean. It's kind of right along the Romney Creek here. That tornado would be probably turning into a water spout right now. Eventually going to be on track for Echo Hill, Betterton, Chesapeake Haven, and Chess Haven. Will also be on the track of this over the next several minutes. So again, if you're in this particular warning, continue to stay in your safe place. Luckily, it's kind of along the river, so it's a little bit more rural. Eventually, this will be moving towards areas like White Crystal Beach and Betterton. So be weather aware if you are in those areas, as this does continue to move east. This chat is flying. I'm trying to see if we have any reports. This is likely clear air, by the way. I don't think this is debris. I think that's just clear air near Middle River. I think that's all that is. To me, that looks like clear air. Our rotation on this storm, for reference, would be back up near Rossville and Middle River. Let's go back to the other radar site here. I'm not seeing any definitive rotation on this storm right now, but if we did have something, it would be over here near Middle River. That would be the location that we'd be looking for a tornado. Right now. This right here. going towards Middle River and near Rossville. Multiple trapped in Germantown, according to media reports. Do I have reports even on here? Let me turn those on real quick. We should have reports on here. Where are reports? Reports. Let me see if we have any reports here. No, we don't have any. Actually, we don't have any reports, at least on here right now. We have a lot of reports coming in, obviously. We've had multiple tornadoes at this point, so there's definitely going to be some reports. There's no doubt about that. Let's see if we can find some here. Wow. I am retweeting another video on Twitter. The tornadoes that we saw at the very beginning were huge. This storm here is the troublemaker, the one that went through Baltimore. This particular storm is the one that has produced the majority of the damage at this point. The majority. And, you know, it's now moving through areas like Baltimore and whatnot, and it's been a little bit weaker. But this is the one that's produced all that, you know, damage and whatnot at this point. Just unbelievable. And it's still not done. I think right now the rotation, at least for now, is a little bit broader, but this storm in particular has been the one that's produced multiple tornadoes. And at one point, this was a tornado at least a quarter to a half mile wide, and that was at the very beginning. So, yeah. And this one, as of right now, is still on the ground. This has been on the ground for a while. This was confirmed about 18 minutes ago, so there's definitely a possibility that this is at least lifted or moved into the water. So, that's at least the hope right now. Let's hope. And then again, we're still watching the one near Middle River, which I think is broadened for the time being. Still watching closely, though, over the next several minutes. If you are new to the channel, again, make sure to subscribe down below. We'll keep you posted with the latest with severe weather coverage. If you have any reports or anything like that, you can at me on Twitter. I'll try to relay some of the information here. I'll stay on the radar here for a second until we have something new here. Is Ohio still on the ground? Not from what we know. The only one that's on the ground is the one that I don't think is on the ground anymore, but it would be the one back over near Edgewood. This one over here in Ohio, though, could be on the ground at any time. Let's go back to the terminal radar site. I mean, this rotation is still pretty strong. I think that there's definitely a possibility that there is a tornado on the ground just south of Gambier. That is where we'd be looking for that potential for a tornado. It'd be right there. So if you are, you know, again, in this warning, please continue to stay in your safe place. This storm in particular would be the one that we are watching right now for the greatest concern. At this point, I think, for a tornado. I think the ones in Maryland are a little bit less concerning because they're going kind of over water now. But I think that would be the main area where we're watching for that potential of a tornado right now. That would be the main area, in my opinion. All right, I'm trying to check this real quick. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Wasn't expecting this in Maryland. I don't think any of us were. I'm gonna be honest with you. I once again, none of us did. None of us. I don't think anybody expected this to be this bad. NATOcast actually put out an outlook earlier that pretty much outlined this area in a higher risk for tornadoes than the Storm Prediction Center. I kind of thought we wouldn't really see much, and that has completely changed. I mean, we had a couple tornado warnings earlier in the afternoon. kind of out there in Western Maryland and even parts of, Virginia. And I was kind of like, yeah, it's just gonna be like, maybe a couple hours maybe for an event. But that's obviously been completely different.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
This obviously never happens in Maryland, and I think a lot of people know that. This is not, a typical event for Maryland. And also, just a new warning, by the way, this is going to be northeast of Middle River. That rotation still on the stronger side of things right now in Middle River, and we now have a tornado on the ground in Ohio.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
So this is a new tornado on the ground right now, northwest of Bladensburg. This is near Gambier and Howard. This is, again, a confirmed tornado on the ground in Ohio, confirmed by weather spotters. So if you are in this warning, you need to seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building, as there's yet again another tornado that is on the ground right now here in Ohio. This is the second tornado that this has produced at this point, which again is currently moving to the east. All right, so again, please seek shelter, get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get into an interior room of your home or building. For Gambier, if you are in Howard, Danville, any of those areas, you need to be in your safe place, as this is now a tornado that is in progress just to the northwest of Bladensburg and north of Martinsburg. And we don't have a great view of this from the, the large-scale radar site back off to the north. The terminal radar site shows it, though, just around Gambier right now. So again, confirmed by weather spotters. Back to the other tornado warning in Maryland. This storm also had strong rotation near Middle River. Let's go back to that radar site here. So this rotation near Middle River is still pretty strong, right over Highway 43. So we still have a likely tornado developing right now near Highway 43. That rotation is intensified yet again. So strong rotation over Highway 43. This will be on track for the West Twin River. Oliver Beach and Chase will also be in the track of this. So if you're in this warning, and please seek shelter, get away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. This is possibly going to be on the ground at any time. That rotation's pretty strong on radar. There's no debris signature right now, but keep in mind, we are far away from the radar site here. We are farther away from the radar site than, before. So we're getting a little bit less visibility here for the correlation coefficient, which usually helps us to be able to detect debris being lifted up into the atmosphere. But the bare minimum, we have strong rotation here. That is, again, just off to the north of the Bowleys quarters near Middle River. And that right there is your strong area of circulation moving to the east-northeast right now. And that's on track for Joppatown and Edgewood. They're not in the warning, but I would stay vigilant if you're in those two locations, as there is going to be a potential there for a tornado. If this does turn a little bit further up here, the maybe a little bit left goes a little bit north, there's a possibility those areas get impacted by this. Any cameras? I'll definitely check. This is near White Marsh right now. We do have a couple of live shots here. Let me see. One of the cameras, multiple cameras just lost connection. I'm not sure if that's due to the wind or something, or they're just already out to begin with. That could be a sign that we have possibly power outages. Rotation on the latest scan still right now over the southeast side of White Marsh. That's where, if we have a tornado, it would be right there. And by the way, we are now back down to 2 tornado warnings. So good news, at least for the time being. Here's one live shot. This out of the White Marsh area. I'm not really seeing anything clear here. Some lightning by the looks of it at the top left, or maybe a flash of something. Hard to see, though. Nothing clear right now. We'll keep a close eye on it, though. All right. Again, this is not confirmed as of right now, but there's definitely a possibility that this does drop a tornado with how strong that rotation was on the last couple of scans here. Back to the velocities real quick. I'm not seeing as much, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Let's go back to Ohio and Knox County. Again, if you're in Ohio, just east of Highway 13, we do have a confirmed tornado here. that is in Ohio, just to the east of Mount Vernon. This was another confirmed tornado on this cell. This has produced 2 different tornadoes now. This one's near Gambier and Howard. So again, the tornado itself would be right here, just on the southeast side of Gambier and just northwest of Bladensburg, north of Martinsburg. It's eventually going to be approaching Howard, Danville, and Newcastle. So that's the confirmed tornado that we have currently in Ohio. I do want to bring your attention to further back out to the west, though, just for a second. We did have some rotation in this area as well, very broad circulations, but we had a little bit of rotation that happened just east of Troy. There is still some broad circulation here west of Springfield, so keep that in mind. We do have a little bit more rotation embedded in this area of storms as well, back over just to the north and east of Dayton right now. So definitely still a chance that we get an isolated tornado out of that activity. Here's a live shot out of Dayton, Ohio right now on the radar Omega cyclone port. Notice very ominous skies right now with that line of storms that's approaching. Not really severe at this point, but there is going to be a potential for a brief tornado out of this activity as it does continue to track east towards Washington Courthouse, Hillsborough, and all those other areas. So continue to stay weather aware if you are in those particular locations. Let's go back to, we'll go back to this tornado on the ground. And northeast of Columbus, this is where we do have a tornado in progress. This is just to the south of Gambier right now. Your tornado would be located right in here. Go back to this radar site, pretty much shows the same thing. So right over near Pipesville right now is where this is heading, in Ohio. So we can confirm tornado on the ground. Continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. Let's go back to Maryland again, east of Baltimore. Double check on this warning again. Still have some strong rotation just to the northeast of Middle River. This is also about to cross into the river, so that's where that rotation will be going. I do want to also point your attention to the rotation back over north of Betterton. We have a strong area of circulation that's about to be going into Delaware, so we might get a tornado warning here in a moment near Betterton, White Crystal Beach, Earlville, and Cecilton in Delaware. That rotation's definitely on the stronger side of things there. So definitely a possibility that we also get a new tornado warning on that cell, and well, there you go. Timing is kind of crazy.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Again, brand new tornado warning now in this for White Crystal Beach, Earlville, and Cecilton. So right now the rotation on this storm is offshore, so it's not on land right now, but that area of rotation will be going onshore here pretty soon. On the north side of Betterton, near Earlville, Cecilton, and just north of Galena, near White Crystal Beach. So if you're in this pink polygon, you need to seek shelter away from windows on the lowest floor possible and in an interior room of your home or building, as this will be producing the potential also for a tornado. Hey, Tucker, can you come and turn on the light? Thank you. Nice haircut, thank you. I've seen a lot of comments like that, thank you. All right, let me go back to Twitter here real quick. Again, if you see any reports on Twitter, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. As a reminder, we will be relaying any damage reports after these storms are all done, by the way, on both Facebook and as well as Twitter at MaxVelocityWX on both Facebook and Twitter. Those links are in the description below. So just heads up for those that are interested in post-damage stuff. After the stream is over, we'll try to relay information on those 2 platforms. This is Maryland. My apologies. This is Maryland. So this is not Delaware. My apologies. Cecilton, White, Crystal Beach, and Earlville, and Chesapeake, near Chesapeake City in Maryland. Sorry. Going eastbound. So again, if you're in the pink polygon, seek shelter here in Maryland. Away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. the rotation again is still offshore. So the good news is right now that this is still offshore. It will be eventually moving towards the Earlville area in Cecilton. Now, what we have to watch for as this comes inland is that it could produce a tornado as it moves inland. So that's what we're watching for right now. The storm that's back over in Ohio, by the way, that tornado is no longer on the ground. So that one's lifted. It is, as of right now, back to radar indicated. So we no longer have a tornado on the ground in Ohio, but it is still a radar indicated area of circulation. So continue to stay weather aware if you're in that warning, and obviously continue to stay in that safe place. That storm has produced 2 different tornadoes back over there. Right now, what I'm looking at for the most concerning storm is probably going to be this one moving into Maryland, near Earlville and Cecilton. That rotation's still definitely on the stronger side of things. So this one still has really the best chance, I think, in terms of producing a tornado right now. The one that's back over to the east of Baltimore still has strong circulation, but this one will be moving offshore, kind of going along these little marshes here near like Bush River and other areas like that. So obviously continue to stay in your safe place if you're just south of Edgewood. We're going to stay on this rotation though, right here near Betterton for the time being. This is again moving east right now. What atmospheric conditions are causing this outbreak? I would have to look. I legitimately was driving for 4 hours, not in the weather studio once again. And I literally, when we went live, we had a 4-minute setup time to put the monitor, the laptop, and also all the wires, all the mics and everything to get together into this setup. I've had no time to look at anything before or even during this live stream. So apologies, obviously, this is kind of a rushed live stream. We are still gonna be live again for a while here, but I just want to mention that again, we were not ready for this stream at all. And I was not expecting this sort of event to happen at all. So that's why we weren't ready. So again, I was traveling and then this happened. So obviously, if I knew this was going to happen, I would have been in our studio. But, you know, we're not. we traveled, and then this just kind of popped out of nowhere. So. You couldn't tell we didn't have water either. So it's been a kind of a, you know, it's been a kind of a crazy live stream here. All right, let me check this real quick. And we are currently looking at the storm right now near Earlville and Cecilton in Maryland. This again still has the capability to produce a tornado. Again, if you are in this warning, you need to continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. This is our strongest area of rotation that we have right now. We still have some stronger rotation over in Ohio, but it's not nearly as strong as this one. So obviously just continue to stay in your safe place if you're in this warning, away from windows, lowest floor possible, as this does continue to move east. And we'll keep you posted if it does end up dropping on the ground, which is still a possibility. It's 100% still a possibility here. So we'll see if we have any other reports here. Wow. There's a lot of reports of building collapses and unfortunately a lot of stuff along those lines. A lot of reports right now of building collapse and whatnot. Unfortunately, right now we're getting a lot of reports of that back over into, like, in Germantown, for example. We had quite the large tornado in that area, so you know, it's not looking great over there. And it's now nighttime, so it's obviously gonna be harder to see everything. But yeah, it's at least the latest that we're getting out of there. Not what you want to see. Lots of reports coming out of that particular region. All right, we got a new radar scan coming in. We'll check this out here in a second. Yeah, that tornado back over near Germantown, I don't know the exact number. We probably won't know the exact number for, you know, at least a couple, maybe at least a day, because they have to do storm surveys. But that tornado looked pretty large, unfortunately. I like your haircut. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, this rotation, not as strong as before. We're still watching this one near Earlville. This one has the Again, highest capability, in my opinion, of producing a tornado after it gets back on land. Back to Ohio real quick. We do have actually a damage report of a large tree down near Sycamore Road in Ohio State Route 661. This one was a confirmed tornado. The rotation that we have right now is just south of Howard. It is still a strong area of circulation for the time being. Still has a potential to produce a tornado as it moves east and east-northeast. So if you're near Danville, Howard, east of Mount Vernon, continue to stay weather aware. This still does have a possibility to produce another tornado over the next several minutes. Yeah, change this real quick. All right. Let's go back to, we'll go back to Maryland. Actually, let me go back to the terminal radar site. This is Howard, Danville, Bladensburg. And that rotation's still pretty strong. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if we still had a tornado here, just north of Martinsburg. There's definitely still strong circulation here. I would continue to stay in your safe place. I mean, there's no reason to get out of there right now. The rotation's still on the stronger side of things. This storm in particular still has a pretty solid capability right now of producing a tornado. That rotation is not weak. It's definitely still strong here. Near Howard and Danville in Ohio. Back to Maryland. And we'll kind of flip back and forth with it here. That rotation's about to be coming on land. So just north of Betterton, going towards Cecilton, Earlville, and White Crystal Beach. You're all right now on the track of this particular storm that's trying to produce a tornado. Still strong rotation, moving eastbound. So again, if you're in this warning, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. Interior room of your home or building. You know, we, on the Max Velocity channel at least, we usually don't go live for marginal risk days. This is a major exception, obviously, to that. You know, again, we had multiple tornadoes on the ground, and, you know, we still have that potential. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has had a 2% tornado risk outline this entire time, which is fine. I mean, I get it. The forecast, I would have probably made the same forecast, honestly. I'm not blaming them at all. I'm just mentioning that they still have maintained that 2% risk across the Baltimore area. With that said, we still have the potential for a tornado or two over the next hour here in Maryland. I would not be shocked if this event did go into parts of western Delaware here, but I think the chances of that will probably be a bit lower, but we'll have to wait and see. This event obviously has been kind of crazy, so anything could happen. It's 2024, once again. 2024, the year of tornadoes. Initially, from all the way up until about the beginning of April, 2024 was the year of busts, and now it's the year of tornadoes, apparently. I mean, that's at least what people are saying, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Been kind of all over the place. Different opinions on everything. And what we're looking at right now is the rotation near Chesapeake Haven, moving eventually towards White Crystal Beach, Earlville, Cecilton, just south of Chesapeake City as well here in Maryland. And if you are in this warning, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building, as this is still producing the potential for a tornado right now, as it does continue to move east. Tornado spotted near Gambier. There might be another one. Nothing, at least confirmed yet. I wouldn't be surprised if this was on the ground, though. That rotation's still really strong. It's on the east side of Gambier if we have one. The rotation's been strong this entire time. Just east of Gambier, Ohio, near Pipesville and Millwood. Still have strong area of circulation right now near Millwood. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was on the ground. Now, we have, again, the regional radar site, which is way back up to the north, showing a bit broader of circulation. But either way, we are still looking at probably at least a potential for a tornado. Going towards Howard, Danville, and Newcastle. Those would be the locations in the track of this right now. So, again, if you are in this warning, just continue to stay in that safe place away from windows, lowest floor possible. Interior room of your home or building, as it still does have the potential to produce a tornado. That rotation, again, still is on the stronger side of things. It is not weakened at this point, at least for now. And I don't think it will be weakening here, at least in the short term. That rotation's been strong this entire time, and it still remains on the stronger side of things. You need to continue to stay in that safe place if you're in this warning. Away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior room of your home or building. Our 2 rotations. Yeah, we kind of have another one back here west of Gambier. It doesn't look as strong. Let me look at the close-up radar site again. Or maybe it is intensifying. It could be a new area of redevelopment, too. There's at least some broad circulation there. The one here near Pipesill still looks the strongest to me. That one still appears the strongest when it comes to rotation. I honestly still think that this particular area of rotation is the strongest. And I think if we do get a tornado, this will be the main one, going towards Millwood and Oak Hill and Danville. But that rotation's strong enough to the point where we could have a tornado. Please continue to stay in your safe place if you're in this warning, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. I check on the rotation near Dayton, Ohio. Let me, yeah, we'll check on that real quick. That's one area that there's been some broad circulations as well.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
We do have a new tornado warning. That's going to be back over in Maryland. Let me go to that first. New tornado warning for those in Betterton, Galena, and as well as north of Butlertown. So that's a brand new tornado warning. Again, if you're in this warning, seek shelter. Away from windows, lowest floor possible. And in an interior room of your home or building. The rotation that's going to be in question is going to be this back over here to the west. That's where we're looking for that potential for a tornado. It's still offshore, just southeast of Edgewood in Maryland, and it will eventually be moving towards Betterton and Galena, towards Cecilton as well. The Cecilton rotation, as it comes back on shore right now, it's not as strong as what we've had in the past, but I'm still not ruling out a tornado as it goes towards those spots. Crazy enough, we have 1 severe thunderstorm warning, and we have literally 4 tornado warnings. That's kind of crazy. Let's go back to Dayton real quick. I was going to check on this. See if there's any rotation in here. All right, I'm not really seeing much. There's a little bit near in Xenia. I think that's how you say it. There's also a little bit near like Springfield, for example, but it looks mostly like gusty winds to me. We could get a brief tornado or spin up in this area, but I think the chances of that right now are on the lower side of things. This is a live shot out of the Dayton area. That's a big flash of lightning. So this area, again, still dealing with at least a pretty decent thunderstorm, but nothing really tornadic, I think, right now. I think the main concern there will be the threat for just some gusty winds. You know, this could be on the ground right now in Ohio, near Millwood. That rotation's definitely strong. This is our strongest rotation right now that we have. So this rotation, once again, definitely on the stronger side of things. If you're in this warning, please seek shelter in Ohio. That rotation is definitely intensified. No debris signature, but again, we are very far away from the radar site. Nothing officially confirmed on this. The terminal radar site was showing a pretty similar, area of circulation as well. So this is definitely what we're looking at right now. The strongest area of circulation. And everything right now that we have on radar is radar indicated, so nothing confirmed as of right now. This one does appear as if it is the closest to producing. If not, it could be on the ground near Howard, Ohio. That is the strongest area of rotation that we have currently. The terminal radar site still agrees with pretty strong rotation. The one west of Gambier does not look as strong. This one, though, still looks pretty strong to me. I think this is really going to be the main one to watch for here over the next several minutes. Going towards Millwood and Oak Hill. Here's the latest scan. Yeah, that rotation's still really strong. The latest radar scan still verifying pretty strong rotation heading towards Millwood and Oak Hill, Estow, Danville. Tiverton Center, Stillwell, and Newcastle would eventually be in track of this here in Ohio, but still relatively strong rotation right now east of Mount Vernon. Yeah, if you are in this warning, you need to seek shelter, as there is a potential for a tornado. Nothing confirmed yet, but let me check the correlation coefficient. Yeah, this is the latest. I don't think we're going to get a debris signature on this since we're just so far away from the radar site, but the bare minimum, I do feel like we could have a tornado on the ground at any time near Howard. That rotation's definitely on the stronger side of things. There's no reports of it, but, you know, at least from what we're seeing on the velocities radar, both on the terminal radar site, which is close up, and this one, this is definitely a strong area of circulation. There's just no doubt. We'll see if it ends up getting confirmed or not. I think it's going to have to rely more on just there being like a storm spotter in the area or something like that. Because we're not going to get a debris signature. Here's the terminal radar site. Still showing that stronger area of circulation, eventually approaching Danville and Oak Hill. So there's no doubt that this is at least a strong area of circulation right now. This is currently northeast of Columbus. It is kind of north-central Ohio. That's kind of where we are right now. Let's go back to Maryland. We'll check on the rotation here. So, still have some rotation over water just to the east and southeast of Edgewood. That rotation, as of right now, is still on the stronger side of things, but it's going to take a little bit for that to actually get onto land, going towards Betterton and Galena. So, again, if you're in Galena or near Betterton, just continue to stay in your safe place, as that storm could still produce a tornado. And then the storm back over just to the west of Earlville and Cecilton, that rotation is still broad, but could still produce something. It's rain-wrapped, so continue to stay in your safe place if you're in that area, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. And there's a report that at least at the bare minimum, storm spotters are seeing a funnel cloud on this storm near the Pipesville area. We at least have that report as of right now, that there's at least some visual right now of a, you know, at least a funnel cloud. The bare minimum. This could definitely be on the ground at any time. Oh, a huge shout out to anybody that super chatted or became a member. I do appreciate it. I'm not going to be able to get to those, probably. I might try to at the end of the stream, but I do appreciate all of your generosity. Thank you to anybody that's subscribed to the channel. Thank you to anybody that's liked the stream. Hopefully this stream's been informative thus far. Obviously, again, we're not in our weather studio. We are just kind of in a, you know, thrown together setup here. We were traveling when we had to go live. So, yeah, I do appreciate your generosity, though. And thank you for anybody that's super chatted, become a member, Venmo'd, anything like that. Do appreciate it. All right, this is the latest radar scan, or latest update. They have made this still as of radar indicated rotation. The latest scan from the radar site that's back over near Cleveland shows it as a bit of a broader circulation. The terminal radar site, which is close up, still does show a stronger area of rotation. So we're kind of in between the two here, but there's at least still rotation, and it definitely still has a chance to produce a tornado going towards Millwood, Oak Hill, and Danville. So again, if you are in this warning, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior room of your home or building, as there is still a chance for a tornado, as this does continue to move east-northeast over the next several minutes. There's no reports on this warning, by the way, so nothing new on this particular warning. Let me go back to Maryland again. I think at this point, if you're back over near like Baltimore, for example, you're good. This is some of the reports that we got from earlier. Arbustus, there was a spotter that reported, and a video of a tornado crossing I-95 near I-195. Numerous trees and power lines were down in the area. We also had a tornado earlier in Westminster, Maryland. At least 2 trees down on houses in Gamber and Eldersburg areas. And then also in Columbia, Maryland, there were several videos of a tornado on the ground in Columbia. That's from the video, or that's from the storm that we thought there was a debris signature, just wasn't clear as day because of a lot of these storms being low precip, but either way, that was from earlier. We've at least, I think, had 6 different tornadoes, though, today, which this would at least be a small-scale tornado outbreak in Maryland. Who would have thought? Really, I mean, seriously, who would have thought that that would be something that we'd be talking about today? Just crazy. Water rescues in progress. There is a flash flood warning northeast of Maryland too. There was a the waters were the storm's been training in this area. Water's up to a hood out of a minivan along Dumbarton Drive in Abingdon, Maryland. And in Aberdeen, multiple water rescues due to high water on US 40 and at MD 132. So that's also another area that we're seeing flash flooding in. So unfortunately right now, flash flooding is also a concern right now near Edgewood. Thank you, Mark, for the $10 super chat. I do appreciate it. By the way, super relevant to what's happening right now, I just want to mention our shopmaxvelocity.net. A lot of people are trying to get on it. It is down right now. Don't know when it's going to be back up. So just for those that are wondering, a lot of people have been talking or been messaging me about that. It's down. I do not know when it'll be fixed. It should be fixed hopefully later tonight. The limited release stuff, that's not going to be going away tomorrow. It'll go away on Friday because of the issues that we're having on the website. Just heads up. All right, back to the radar. Let's go back to Ohio again. Back to velocities. Again, the rotation on this storm, at least for what we're seeing, is broadening on the regional radar site. Again, the radar site that's closer up is starting to show a little bit of the same stuff here. Still got some circulation, but not nearly as strong as before. Again, near Pipesville and Millwood. Eventually moving towards Oak Hill. But I would just continue to stay in your safe place, just in case. Again, daylight heating is starting to wind down. It is obviously almost 10 o'clock now, so hopefully that just kind of continues here. Okay, completely unrelated to this. This is crazy. I don't know if we can see this. So you guys know how bats take off here in Texas? This is bats taking off in Texas with a storm coming. An outflow boundary pushed the bats back the other way. This is crazy. Bats took off not long ago here in Texas. That's all bats. The outflow boundary from the storm activity literally pushed the bats back down to the south and east. That's kind of crazy. All right, completely unrelated. I just saw that from James on Twitter. That's insane. Thought I'd show you. It's kind of cool. We don't have any tornadoes on the ground right now, so at least from what we know. That'd be kind of cool to show. Still have a rotation right now approaching Cecilton and Earlville here in Maryland. Again, if you're in this warning, just continue to stay in your safe place as the rotation still on the not really stronger side of things, kind of medium overall. It's kind of in between being strong and weak. It's kind of moderate rotation, if you will. It's right now moving east, going towards Cecilton. The tornado warning that's back over here near Edgewood, by the way, you guys are clear if you're south of Edgewood. This tornado warning will probably end up being canceled. The main area of circulation that we are looking at would be this right here, just to the south of Earlville, going towards Cecilton. So that's the main area of circulation that we're looking at right now. Bat NATO. Don't think it was a bat NATO. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that was a bat NATO. Still pretty crazy though. Thank you, Vlad, for the $4.99. No problem at all. Again, we were not planning on going live by any means today. I'm surprised we were able to do everything in about 6 minutes. I had to make a thumbnail. I had to make the studio. The studio was not built 6 minutes before going live. We were literally putting cables into the laptop here. I don't even have the third monitor on. Like, we had no time to even do that. It was a rushed sort of thing, but I'm glad we went live. It's been crazy, and it's still not over, but I think after about 10:30, which is in about 30 minutes from now, I think things will start to simmer down. At least for the next half an hour, I still think we at least have a tornado risk here in both Maryland and also back over in areas like Ohio. But we still have that potential here, for sure, but it's definitely a little bit of a lower risk. But again, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Well, again, we do live streams and videos all the time. Keep posted with the latest. Where's my backlighting? Again, had no time to set up anything. If we had even 45 minutes to do it, it would have been ready. I didn't have time to do it. Honestly, the lighting is not the most important thing, though. I was just trying to make sure we could actually go live. Good meteorologist can determine bats from radar. Yeah, those are bats. There's a couple of bat caves down there in Texas, so those were bats. Yeah, tornado warning near Edgewood has just been canceled. We are back down to 3 tornado warnings. We got the 2 here in Maryland, and we still got the 1 in Ohio. That's in Knox County, Ohio. That is going to be this storm near Howard and Danville and Gambier. So if you're in this warning, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. You can see on the terminal radar site that rotation is broadening, so let's hope that continues. Could strengthen again, but right now it's a little bit broader for the time being. By the way, today's live stream is brought to you by ESP Tornado Shelters. If you need a tornado shelter, anywhere, even in the Ohio Valley or the Northeast or even back into Maryland, might not be a bad idea at this point after what we just saw today. ESP Shelters gives you above-ground storm shelters, which are easy to install and also cheap to install. Check it out with the top link in the description below. I do appreciate them sponsoring today's live stream. Here's the latest scan, still broad circulation. Let's go back to Maryland again. And so Maryland right now is still a broad area of circulation near Cecilton, south of Irville. Middletown and Townsend in Delaware will be the next in track of this. Right now it is in Maryland. So again, moving east as of right now is where the strongest area of rotation is. Even though it's not super strong, that is really where the strongest area of rotation is for the time being. Never knew about bats. How interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We've gone live now 4 days in a row. Didn't expect to go live today, by the way. And that is the 4th day in a row that we've seen bats on stream, which is kind of crazy. This rotation, by the way, is completely rain wrapped. It's broadening out. This is the latest scan. There's still totation. It's not as strong as what we've had in the past. If we do get a tornado, it would be near Cecilton, Warwick, just south of Irville, going towards Fredericktown and Sassafras, near just north of Galena. Eventually, Middletown and Townsend in Delaware will be in the track of that. And it's, again, rain-wrapped entirely. We have a lot of showers and thunderstorms all kind of collided now, so it's going to be a bit of a lower risk, I think, of a tornado, but definitely not zero. A little bit lower than before. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Still have some rotation near Howard right now. Again, still a broader area of circulation near Howard, just southwest of Danville. We might get another warning on that. That one expires in 10 minutes. We'll see. The storms that are back over near Dayton right now are really organized now into a line of storms. Rotation in this particular line is still pretty broad. Got a couple of little areas of circulation, but just nothing super crazy. Looks mostly like a wind threat for the time being. If anything can wrap here, we could get a tornado out of one of these storms. Not super confident that we're going to see that. Back down near Cincinnati as well. Same sort of story, mostly a damaging wind threat down there. If any storms do go severe, again, the main concern would be damaging winds. Also, one of the Maryland warnings just got updated. I think it was the one near Bufferton. I don't look. All right, yeah, the southern warning. So the Betterton and Galena one just updated, a bit more condensed. Again, the main area of circulation that we'd be watching for a tornado would be near Cecilton. It's the main area of circulation right now moving east. Still not done. I still would say there's a chance that this does try to drop one more tornado before this thing's all over with. So if you're in Warwick, continue to stay vigilant. Middletown, Delaware, also continue to stay vigilant. That area is in the path of this still. By the way, I just want to let you guys know, the temporary store is now pinned in the chat. It's temporary. We'll get the link and everything fixed after. Unfortunately, I can't fix that right now. Try to fix the store later. It should have been up, but the last 12 hours have been crazy. Again, this was just kind of came out of left field, and then our store also is now being revamped. So a lot of weird things happening. Anything in South New Jersey? I think it'll mostly be rain in South New Jersey. This is the risk that was outlined by the Storm Prediction Center. It is a 2% tornado risk all the way back into very far southern New Jersey, near like Vineland and Millville. I would say it's a low chance, but if all this storm activity here can merge together as one, we could see something go towards like Millville or Deerfield or Vineland, but the chances right now of that happening are still uncertain. I think there's a chance. I think it's a low chance. I feel like we've seen the worst of it already, though. I think we've seen the worst of this severe weather. I think from here, we could still get a couple of tornadoes, but I think they'll be more on the brief side of things, hopefully. In case it isn't, we're going to stay alive just in case, because it's 2024. You never know. 2024 has been a weird year. So it's still possible that we get something crazy here. It will not go into northern New Jersey, no. I mean, you could get storms up there, but nothing severe is expected in northern New Jersey. Does Franklin County, Pennsylvania weather look like for week 3? If you want any information about the weather beyond today, I did a full breakdown on what to expect over the next 2 weeks. On our video forecast this morning, highly recommend watching that. It goes over what to expect for like literally the next like 10 to 12 days. So pretty detailed forecast day by day. All right, let's go back to we'll just kind of stay here for the time being. If anything changes in Ohio, we'll keep you posted. I saw the bats. Yes, I saw the bats in Texas. All right, let me check real quick. While we wait for another scan, thank you to Kevin for the $19.99. Appreciate your generosity. Thank you, Olivia, for the $5 super chat. I'm glad you only saw high winds in Baltimore and not like a tornado or anything like that. You know, hopefully the damage is really minimal. From what I've heard, there's a lot of buildings collapsed. Again, as we get reports, I'll let you know. But so far, a lot of buildings at least damaged and possibly even collapsed back over in like Germantown, which is Western Maryland. Haven't heard anything yet in Baltimore, but obviously we're probably still going to get some reports here over the next little while of stuff there. So thank you, Engineer, as well, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Eric, as well. Thank you to Runnin for the 5 gifted members from earlier. Thank you, FL, for the $9.99. Thank you, Teed Rimmer, also. Teed Rimmer, by the way, I will repeat this as well. For those that are wondering why we didn't have a tornado emergency earlier, by the way, the tornado warning in Ohio just canceled. The reason why we did not have a tornado emergency earlier is that a tornado has to be 100% confirmed, or and as well as a credible source of it being confirmed, and it has to be destructive with catastrophic damage potential. That's exactly what that is. Population does not have an influence. It's a common misconception, but it does not have any sort of influence.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
And we do have a new tornado warning here in Maryland, so that's going to be for Chesapeake City and Elkton. If you're in the pink polygon, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. But yeah, literally population. I mean, we've covered tornado emergencies with like only 1,000 people or something like that. It has nothing to do with population. So that's the more to do with if it has catastrophic damage potential, which all the tornado emergencies for the most part this year have had that. There's a new area of circulation developing offshore, by the way. That is the next area to watch for, and that's probably why they issued this new warning. There's some rotation offshore there in just east of Perryman in Maryland. Thank you, Tina, also for the $20 donation on PayPal. Thank you, Bob, for the very generous $50 super chat. Thanks, Forced, coming online unexpectedly. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Radar Wiley, as well, for the $10 super chat earlier. If I missed any of your super chats, again, I do appreciate you a lot. Thank you, Cody, as well. And also the Big John Tracy. Yeah, I've missed a lot of them, but I do appreciate your generosity. Wow. Let's see what the radar shows here. That could be a water spout. Do we have any radar view of this? That is some strong rotation right now. Heading in the direction of White Crystal Beach. So we had a little lull in activity with the tornado threat, but this storm here definitely appears more concerning than what we've been, dealing with here for the last like half an hour. That rotation right now is really strong, and it's not a tornado for the for reference. It's over water. This is probably a water spout. We'll have to watch this closely because it's on track to go towards White Crystal Beach, Chesapeake City, and Elkton in Maryland. Very strong rotation, and this definitely has a chance to produce a tornado. So out of all the storms that we have right now and all the rotation, this one looks really the most concerning. There's a strong possibility that if this does go on land, it will be a tornado. So need to stay weather aware here. Water spots are also dangerous. I mean, you can have flying fish, flying sharks. You can. You can have, if you're a boater, it can be very dangerous. If there's a bridge, it can be dangerous. But that's all stuff that, would be over water. If you're like on land, which most people watching the stream, for example, would be on land, the impacts are usually pretty minimal from water spouts. Unless they do go on land, which again, if they go on land, it's different. They will produce damage. Sharknadoes? I mean, might as well. Sharknado. That's a possibility. You never know. No, Sharknadoes obviously not, but, you could still have flying, whatever it is. Fish, shrimp, shrimp-nado, flying fish-nado. All those things are possibilities. Again, what I've just circled is the strongest area of rotation right now, going towards Chesapeake City, Elkton, White Crystal Beach, Cecilton, and near Galena and Betterton. Yeah, if you're in the pink polygons, continue to stay in your safe place. That rotation's still on the stronger side of things right now. Heading in the direction of Chesapeake City, White Crystal Beach, Earlville, Cecilton, all in the track of this particular storm right now. Let's see if we have any other live shots here on this part of Maryland. We actually have one near Cecilton. This is the furthest southern tornado warning right now. Looks actually kind of quiet here. A lot of rain. I think this is a lake or a river. I think this is right over a bridge. This is the southern tornado warning. We have a couple other ones up here to the north, too. I'll keep a close eye on that. There's some broad circulation on that storm, so that's why I'm pulling it up there. Then our other main area of rotation right now would be this right here, just to the west of White Crystal Beach, going towards Earlville and Chesapeake City and Elkton. Here's the latest scan. And this is the area of rotation right now, right over the river. Could have a water spout again as this moves east-northeast, going towards White Crystal Beach, Earlville, and Chesapeake City. Yeah, earlier we did have a PDS tornado. Obviously we don't anymore, but we did have a PDS tornado back over in western Maryland. That, again, was a large tornado. From what I saw on Twitter, it looked like it was about a half mile wide or so. So... Now, right now, we have a strong area of circulation about to go right into White Crystal Beach. And again, we are at 1 tornado warning. This is our only one. And this one does look concerning. Again, this could very easily produce a tornado that's strong and possibly large if it goes on land. So that's what we're watching for right now as this moves east-northeast. It is still a very strong area of circulation. White Crystal Beach, Earlville, Chesapeake City, Elkton, you all need to be in your safe place. And this new tornado warning is for an area of rotation that's really strong over the water right now. Still strong as of right now. It's not over land yet, so we don't really have a great gauge of what this will do. But the presumption is, again, that this could be a dangerous tornado if it does go on the ground. Or it does go over land. All right, let me check Twitter again here. See if there's any other reports. Friendly reminder, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We'll keep you posted with the latest with severe weather coverage. Yeah, we are currently looking at a strong area of circulation in the bay here, just east of Edgewood, approaching White Crystal Beach in Maryland. So again, continue to stay in your safe place if you're in this warning. Had an Amber Alert, thought it was a warning. That is crazy. That is actually crazy. Yeah, I don't blame you though, because I mean, you know, Maryland's obviously had a bunch of tornadoes today. We've had about 5 or 6, I think now. So, been pretty crazy. Still not done. I mean, this rotation heading towards White Crystal Beach, I think still has a chance to produce. See if there's anything else here. If you guys do see any reports, you can at me on Twitter. Any damage reports, anything like that. At Max Velocity WX. Not seeing anything new right now. Now, a lot of the reports, again, that we've had is just a lot of damaged structures and buildings and whatnot back over in areas like, you know, back over in Western Maryland. I've seen nothing yet in Baltimore. Have you guys seen anything in Baltimore? Just curious. I haven't seen anything yet. I hope Baltimore was okay. I mean, Baltimore is obviously a very populated area. The south side of the city was the area that presumably got hit. So, how's it going, Mel? We will be. Don't worry. Appreciate you tuning in. Here's the latest scan. I mean, man, this rotation is still really strong. If you're in White Crystal Beach, again, you gotta get underground if you can, get to your safe place. Nothing confirmed on this as of right now, but it's over water. We don't really have much information. There's a high likelihood, again, that we have a water spout. And even if we don't, we could have a tornado at any time as the storm moves on land. It's a very strong area of circulation going towards Hacks Point, Earlville, St. Augustine, Chesapeake City, Elk River Estates, Redalia, all those areas currently in the track of this. And please, if you are in the pink polygon, you got to seek shelter. This is a dangerous storm right now. A possible tornado about to drop as this moves into Maryland. And again, this is the eastern side of Maryland. We're not in western Maryland. There's a possibility that this is a fishnado, and it could be a tornado as it makes landfall here near White Crystal Beach. It's like a moist tornado. Yeah, this is pretty much a moist tornado that we're looking at. It's on the ground. Or if it's on the water, I should say. Sorry, not on the ground. It would be over water. I'll have another radar scan here in a second. Yeah, there is still some rotation in Ohio. The rotation that we have is still not super, you know, it's not super concerning. If anything becomes concerning, we'll let you know. All the rotation that we have right now is still on the broader side of things. So everything is still on the broader side of things over there. Honestly, I think the environment in Ohio is not going to be as favorable. You know, Ohio actually did have a 2% tornado risk before today began. The Storm Prediction Center got rid of it in the outlook this afternoon, and I don't think they ever added it back. But once again, it goes to show you don't need a tornado risk outlined by the Storm Prediction Center for there to be a tornado on a severe weather day. So is Iowa good? Iowa is not even like in the risk today, I don't think. I think you're perfectly fine. You know, the thumbnail I made like literally when the stream started, and I only outlined Maryland. I barely even made a circle. Doesn't even include all the areas that we've been talking about, but the risk outline today is basically just Ohio and western Pennsylvania maybe, and then also back into Maryland. And a little bit of Delaware, a little bit of southern New Jersey. There's some areas that are also included in it, but like, you know, very minimal area coverage there. Here's the latest scan. Still got rotation right now near Bayview Estates, White Crystal Beach. Continue to watch that closely. Let's go back to, let me just go back to Ohio real quick. Let's check in on it since that rotation isn't too crazy on the latest scan. Was not expecting to see Max tonight. I wasn't expecting to go live by any means today. If anything shows with this stream, us not going live, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we had no intentions of going live today at all. I'm not seeing any rotation right now in Ohio. I mean, there's going to be rotation naturally with a line of storms like this, but nothing that pops out to me that's imminent of a tornado. Still gusty winds for the most part across Ohio. And that right there is your main area of circulation, heading towards Chesapeake City near White Crystal Beach. We don't know what the EF rating of any of these tornadoes will be, probably until at least tomorrow. It's the earliest that we're going to know would be tomorrow. Because these tornadoes all happen in the evening, and they have to go survey them, so I'm guessing that one near Gaithersburg, though, is on the stronger side of things, but we really don't know. It doesn't really matter at this point. You just need to, you know, at least check in on any friends or family in these areas, make sure they're okay, because we had multiple different tornadoes. And all of them, to some extent, did damage. So, it's 6 or 7 tornadoes, I think. Again, we don't have, like, an exact number, but definitely had a pretty solid amount of tornadoes for this particular area. Yeah, we won't know officially. I mean, preliminary reports we'll have soon, but nothing official probably for a little while. What areas in South New Jersey are at risk?
A new tornado warning has been issued.
We'll get to that in a second. We have a new tornado warning for Rising Sun, northeast of Bel Air. That's Rising Sun, Zion, and near Castleton. If you are in that pink polygon, you need to seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. Interior room of your home or building. That rotation does not look super strong on radar, but we could get a tornado out of that. The only areas in southern New Jersey I'd be really watching for here would be really anywhere from Ocean City back towards Deep Portford, near Wilmington, or just southeast of Wilmington, back through Vineland and Millville. Those are the main areas I'd be looking for a threat. Otherwise, I'm not super concerned about areas further north. I would still stay weather aware with today's environment, but I'm not as concerned. All right, here's the rotation going right into White Crystal Beach. Doesn't look as strong as it was a moment ago, but it's still strong enough to have a tornado. So White Crystal Beach, Westview Shores, Earlville, Hacks Point, Hollywood Beach, Vandalia, any of those areas currently here in eastern Maryland. You need to be in your safe place now, as there is a chance that we have a tornado at any time as this moves inland. Again, no debris signature as of right now, but again, it's still kind of over water. Thank you, Coopster, by the way, for the $4.99. Appreciate your generosity. Also, thank you to Alyssa for the $9.99. Thank you, Vex, for the $5 super chat. Got into Fort Stockton after 6 hours on the road. That's kind of crazy. Fort Stockton. What are you even doing in Fort Stockton? Just out of curiosity. I don't know if there's any reason why you're there. Thank you, WD, for the $4.99. Wet Water Spout Wednesday. Yeah, today at this point could be called Wet Water Spout Wednesday, but it's really more of a wacky weather Wednesday. Honestly. Today is more of a wacky weather Wednesday here. In my opinion. I think wacky weather Wednesday goes perfect with what we've seen today. It's been wacky weather, there's no doubt about that. Still strong circulation right now near White Crystal Beach. Again, approaching Hacks Point, St. Augustine, Chesapeake City. Also approaching the north side of Earlville. All those areas in the track of this particular storm. Again, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. If you are in this warning, it is still radar indicated rotation. They just updated the warning. There's nothing confirmed on this as of right now. Again, the capability with this storm right now is that it just came off water, or is coming off of water as we speak, has had strong rotation, could produce a tornado as it goes towards Hacks Point. That's what we're watching to see if that happens or not. Hopefully it doesn't, but you know, this storm in particular is the one that has produced multiple tornadoes in Maryland. So it's still possible that we get something like that as this does continue to move into eastern Maryland and eventually into Delaware. So be vigilant if you're back over in Delaware as well, as you are not far from this particular storm activity. You still got the warning back up near Rising Sun, but that rotation's still broad. New mesoscale discussion. Let's see. My Twitter notifications are so high right now. I don't see anything new. I see a flash flooding one. Oh, I see the new one. It's 10 minutes old. This is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. So this is the latest. An isolated tornado or damaging gust remains possible. And that would be anywhere in southern New Jersey, northern parts of Maryland, and northern parts of Delaware. So Middleton, Dover, and Delaware, near Wilmington as well, Vineland, all those areas, continue to stay vigilant. There is a chance for an isolated tornado. What's actually crazy, I didn't even think about this. There was never a tornado watch issued in Maryland. I didn't even realize that. I don't think there was, at least, was there? I don't think there was ever a tornado watch in Maryland. I'm just thinking about that now. That's actually kind of crazy. Here's the latest scan. Still strong rotation right now near Hacks Point. No watches. I kind of forgot watches existed when we were doing the coverage. I didn't even think about it. I was surprised there was no watch. No debris signature as of right now, but possibility for a tornado will exist as this storm goes towards Hacks Point. You are in Hacks Point, Here in Maryland, you need to be underground if you can, away from windows, lowest floor possible at the bare minimum. If you're in a mobile home in any of these areas, you got to find a sturdy structure. Or get into a ditch. Rotation is still strong right now. This storm in particular, I think, could produce a tornado at any time. That rotation is still on the stronger side of things. Back to the terminal radar site here. We can get another view of this. Terminal radar site doesn't have as good of resolution here. Thank you, Chad, for the 5 gifted members. I do appreciate it. If you got a gifted membership, make sure to thank Chad. Thank you for your generosity. Are there homes in this area? There is. Hacks Point does. St. Augustine and Bohemius Mills, I think, does too. Middletown, Delaware is really the main location I'd be watching for, though. Chesapeake City and Middletown, Delaware. But Chesapeake City here in Maryland also in the track of this. Those 2 areas are pretty populated. So those are the 2 areas that I would be most concerned about right now with this activity. Yeah, this is currently moving east. Middletown will be in the track of this. Middletown, Delaware. Yeah, let me change the let me change the traffic cam. Give me 1 second here. Here's the latest scan. Still strong enough for a tornado. Again, it's not, doesn't seem imminent, but it's still possible that we get something here. Let me go to here. Let me change the camera here. By the way, is the microphone quality good? Just, I have not even looked at it, but I just want to make sure. Is it good? It's not going to be as good as the microphone I have at my studio, but I think it's at least manageable. If it's too loud or too quiet, just let me know. It's good? Okay. Did Baltimore get hit? Baltimore had a tornado on the ground on the southwest side. I don't know what the damage exactly was. I haven't seen anything quite yet. But the southwest side of Baltimore was impacted, from what I know. The bare minimum, the southwest side was impacted. That's at least from what we know from that tornado. Augustus, I think it was the main location hit by it. So, yeah. Depending on velocities over Hebron, Ohio. Let me check real quick. Let's see if there's anything over there. I don't even know where Hebron is. I'll just kind of look and see if there's anything concerning in general. And just a lot of this line here is mostly gusty winds with some broad, low-level rotation. It's nothing that looks imminent for a tornado. And then back over near Heath, just east of Columbus, there is rotation actually near Hebron. So this is what we're talking about. There is definitely some rotation there. We may have even just had a brief tornado right there. Near Pinecrest Estates. Latest scan's a bit broader. That right there, though, would have been possibly a tornado. Briefly, at least. An unwarned... a possibility of an unwarned tornado there. But keep in mind, this particular storm, we cannot see with radar sights really at all. Other than this one near Columbus. Okay. Well, they just issued a warning on it.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
So, brand new tornado warning for Hebron, Union Station, Heath, Locust Grove, Newark, Hanover, Toboso, in Maryland, in Ohio, not in Maryland, Ohio. If you're in this warning, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. And that rotation right there is where we're looking. I think we may have just had a brief tornado near Highway 37. The latest scan's broader, but there's definitely possibly at least a tornado there at the bare minimum at the beginning. We'll see if we get another one, moving eventually towards Hanover and Newark. Yeah, that timing is pretty crazy. Buckeye Lake, Heath, and Newark will all be in the track of this. So if you're in the pink polygon, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. Ben, I think you're okay. Just have ways to receive alerts and you should be fine. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Yeah, right here at the beginning. I don't see anything on the last couple scans, but at the very beginning, I think we may have at least had a brief tornado near Highway 37 and 34, just south of Union Station, Ohio. At least at the bare minimum at the beginning, we had something. Another perfect timing clip, basically. That's basically what just happened. Kind of crazy stuff, but welcome to the channel. Seems to happen all the time. Okay, I really have to pee. I've been live for 3 hours. I'll be back in 60 seconds. We're not going anywhere. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Okay. Tonight is insane. Yeah. There's no doubt. It's been crazy. It has been legitimately insane. Took 1 minute and 10 seconds. Thanks for timing me. I appreciate it. I haven't gone pee in 4 hours, so that would be why. TMI maybe, but there you go. Rotation back over in Maryland near Chesapeake City, St. Augustine, and Bohemius Mills is a bit broader. Still watching for an isolated tornado threat there. Same thing with Rising Sun. That one's actually intensified a little bit. So Rising Sun and Zion continue to stay in your safe place. This particular rotation will eventually go towards Middletown, Delaware. So we're still watching that closely. Let's go back to Ohio again. We're probably going to focus... We'll watch those two, obviously, but I do kind of want to focus a little bit on this one in case it does intensify again. Because I do think we at least had a brief tornado with this near Heath, but we could get another one. Thank you, Vend, by the way, for becoming a Velocity member. Welcome to the Velocities. Any chasers out there? I have no clue. Again, I have... The only time I've had to look at weather today was when I made a forecast this morning, and also when I went live. That's it. I didn't know anything was happening until I literally looked at my phone and radar. I walked in the door with nothing set up in this weather studio that we have here. And I looked at the weather radar. I see a really strong couplet in Maryland. I'm like, this is going to go PDS. And it wasn't PDS yet. And I was like, okay, I might actually have to go live. I set up my monitor, set up my laptops, put all the plugs into it. Got everything kind of set up. Not everything, but a lot of stuff set up. The light's not set up for the LG or the RGB light, and also the third monitor that we have in this particular studio is not set up. But I was trying to rush to get everything ready, and yeah, I mean it was a bit chaotic, and you know, just who would have thought? I mean, goodness gracious, recently it's just been insane. This is a vacation. This is not a vacation. Trust me. This is not a vacation. All right. Looking at the rotation on radar, we still got rotation southwest of Chesapeake City, Maryland. We'll have another radar scan in a moment. We'll wait for that. Brandon live? didn't even know Brandon was live today. He is. I don't think Brandon is live. I'd say that'd be kind of crazy if he was. How can there be tornadoes without severe storms? Well, in all fairness, all these storms are technically severe. They're just not severe in terms of there being a need for a severe thunderstorm warning. So a lot of the time with storms like this, there might be a hail threat, there might be a wind threat, but there's a tornado warning instead that just kind of outlines that, hey, you should seek shelter no matter what. Because, you know, in most instances in a severe thunderstorm warning, some people won't always seek shelter or get away from windows or whatever. But if there's damaging winds inside of a severe storm, sometimes people won't seek shelter. But if there's a tornado warning and there's rotation and there's also a threat for damaging winds, people are just expected to seek shelter anyways. So these storms, they could be producing damaging winds or what have you. But, you know, the tornado warning kind of already covers that because they're already going to be seeking shelter. And a lot of the time on these warnings, there will also be something with the hail that's also indicated. Right now, it's not even severe hail, but, like, that's another thing. So, though there are no severe thunderstorm warnings right now, you know, tornado warnings kind of replace the need for that in a lot of cases, especially with these type of storms that we have. So, yeah. Latest scan still showing rotation back over just to the south of Little Britain, Pennsylvania, north of Aberdeen, Maryland, near Rising Sun. Broad circulation still near Highway 272 as well. And if you're in this warning, just continue to stay in that safe place. Either warning, away from windows, lowest floor possible. The radar just updated. Still broad circulation south of Elkton. The one that's back over here near Rising Sun is still on the stronger side of things. So, that one's still the one I'll be watching more for here in Maryland. Looks like my time to get into shelter in Ohio. Well, if you're in Licking County, Ohio, which is a really interesting name, the rotation here has at one point been strong enough to the point where we probably had a tornado. If we have one still, it'd be near Newark. I don't see as much rotation now, but still not ruling out a tornado as this approaches Newark and Hanover, Ohio. That's where we'll be looking for that potential for a tornado. Speaking of shelter, if you need a storm shelter, you can check out espshelter.com. The link's at the top of the description. In an above ground storm shelter, they are the way to go. It's espshelter.com. Looks super broad, but the radar's crap over there. Well, this is a terminal radar site. This one shows it better. The radar sites that are further away don't really give you much of an idea of anything other than like rotation aloft, which is not going to help us in this case. This rotation here, though, I mean, it looked like a tornado at the beginning of this. Like, you'll see it, like, right here. Like, just watch the radar motion here. Like, this right here, near Hebron, I think was a tornado. I think we at least had a brief tornado near Pinecrest Estates, briefly, and I think it concluded pretty quickly. And now I think it's just turning into more of a wind threat again. It is radar indicated still. But in my opinion, I do think we at least had a funnel cloud or maybe even a brief tornado there right before the warning got issued. Yeah, we really need to fill this radar hole too. There are so many radar holes in the United States. I hope they fill more of them. There are just so many. Hopefully a lot of them get filled here. It's unfortunate, but there are a lot of radar holes. Thank you, Lisa, by the way, for the $10 donation. The Maryland coverage was crazy today. I know. Now, if we were in the studio, we'd been able to do a lot more stuff, like show you more live footage and stuff. It's hard with only 2 monitors. Fortunately, just kind of bad timing. But it is what it is. We at least went live. I think that's what matters. There is a rotation beginning to develop here near Bloomingburg, Ohio. That'll eventually go towards Pancosburg, South Bloomfield, and Mount Sterling. Not really strong by any means, but there's definitely rotation developing there. Could still get an isolated tornado embedded in that activity. Thank you also, John, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. You could still deliver with 2 Monders. Yeah, I mean, we had 2 Monders. That was it for the longest time up until the beginning of May. So I mean, I'm used to using 2 Monders, but you know we had to rush it, so it's a little bit difficult. Usually we have, I mean, now we have like 6 at our studio, so it's a bit more than, you know, usual or what we used to have. We tripled our Monder size in literally like a day. All right, update on Maryland. Still broad rotation near Chesapeake City. The 1-year rising sun is still broad, but I mean we got strong velocities both going towards and away from the radar. Still some gray space here, so it's still broad, but rising sun, that rotation's still a little bit on the stronger side of things. If this can intensify, we could get a tornado, but again, that still remains to be seen here in Maryland with this particular storm. Any CC there? No. There's no debris signature on any of this right now. This one's not even, I mean, it's not tight. There's rotation. It's not really tight or strong or anything like that. Thank you, Samuel, for becoming a Velocity member. Thank you to anybody else that became a member. We have 30 new members today. We appreciate your generosity. Thank you, Joe, for the $5 super chat. Yeah, it's been crazy. Let me just double check and see if we have any other reports here. I don't think we do. Just making sure. Nothing new right now. There's no rotation north of Newark right now. The only rotation that's even near Newark would be the one that's just to the south of Little Britain in Pennsylvania. Like the strongest rotation that we have is the one near Chesapeake City and the one near Rising Sun. We still have some over in Ohio. Or if you're talking about Newark, Ohio, I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. Let me go back to here. Let's go back to Ohio. There's 2 Newarks. It's kind of confusing. The rotation here is still kind of on the broader side of things. We have a new area of circulation, though, north of Newark. This is the one you're talking about. This right here, south of Utica. Let's try to see what the radar looks like. Yeah, there's rotation in that, too, so... The terminal radar site catching at least some circulation there, just south of Utica. Let me go back to this. Yeah, so that right there, probably the new area that we'll have to watch for, the main new area. Because that's a new area of circulation just to the south of Utica, Ohio. So, yeah, there's definitely circulation there. No problem, Dave. Yeah, I'll try to update you again. Nothing on the ground as of at least a couple minutes ago. Still looked a bit broad. Yeah, latest scan, still showing at least rotation there. It's unwarned near Highway 13. Then there's some still near Newark. That one's going towards Hanover and Highway 16 now in Ohio. And that's moving eastbound right now. One little phrase to describe today is what the heck. Posted it on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. That's one way to describe what we've seen today here in both Maryland and even in Ohio. Is honestly, I don't think any of us really expected this at all. So, crazy. It's been crazy. By the way, thank you to everybody that's been tuning in. I appreciate all the nice words and comments. Thank you for talking about my haircut. I get it. Thank you. Appreciate it. But I really do appreciate you guys all tuning in. Hopefully I've been informative here. Again, we're not going anywhere. We're still going to be live here throughout at least for the next 40 minutes, as long as the activity remains up there, because we still have multiple areas of circulation in both Ohio and Maryland. But I do want to just say thank you to everybody that's been tuning in, supporting the channel, all that sort of stuff. Again, we were not expected to go live at all today, but yeah, it's been crazy. And while we do wait for another radar scan, just a reminder, on social media, we had a pre-planned post for merch. Our merch store domain is currently broken, so we don't have a direct link to it. If you click the pinned link in the chat, that is the updated link. We will hopefully have that fixed by tonight or tomorrow. The limited release merch will stay out until Friday now instead of tomorrow because of that issue. So just heads up, we have a technical glitch that happened. Just letting you know. If we didn't go live, I wouldn't be talking about this because, you know, I would have been able to fix it by now, but we can't fix it in the middle of a stream. Over 20,000 showed up. Really? We peaked at 21,000 viewers? What in the world? That's actually really crazy. For a marginal threat day, we peaked at 21,000 viewers. I'm just mind blown by that. I didn't even realize that. Holy cow. I didn't have any statistics on this entire time. Holy cow, that's actually wild. I'm guessing that's when the tornado. I'm guessing that's when Baltimore was under the warning. Jeez. Is this the last live stream for a while? I hope so. I really hope so. I mean, again, we are going on vacation starting Saturday, so I will not be live at all that week. That's pretty crazy. No problem, Lori. Appreciate you tuning in. 21,000 on your day off is wild. It's wild that I didn't even realize we had that high of a number. Jesus, that's crazy. Hey, like legitimately, I didn't even know. A marginal risk. Who would have thought? Still have broad circulation near Rising Sun. Again, this one, in my opinion, has more rotation than the one near Chesapeake City. But either one could still produce a tornado. We might get a new warning here shortly for those in parts of Delaware, near Middleton and just north of Middleton. So that's another area that we're watching for. Have a little broad circulation near Delaware City as well. And then again, the Ohio tornado warning does continue in Licking for the next 7 minutes. We are still looking at some broad circulation north of Newark. This one could end up getting tornado warned. We'll see. That rotation, though, east of Newark looks a bit stronger. But definitely make sure that you're in your safe place if you're in Hanover, Ohio. Is Tucker my brother? Sure. What the heck, Wednesday? It's pretty much what it is. It's been literally insane. Alright, let's go back to... Where is the terminal radar site? I think this is the only one. Yeah, okay. The other one's back out to the west. I really think the most concerning storm at this exact time is the one probably east of Newark. This one's strengthened again. We might have a tornado on the ground east of Newark. So again, if you're in Hanover, definitely seek shelter. That rotation's pretty strong again. The one north of Newark isn't as strong, but the one near Hanover, Ohio is strong again. So again, moving east-northeast, going towards Hanover, to Boso. Frazeysburg eventually gonna be in the track of that. But that rotation's definitely strengthening. Purple dot on the screen? What that even means. Today is Wacky Weather Wednesday, Wild Weather Wednesday, Wet Water Spout Wednesday, whatever you want to call it. You can call it any of those names. That's basically what it's been. Scanner saying confirmed tornado on the ground. I don't see anything official yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's pretty strong likelihood that at least there's a funnel cloud or a wall cloud, maybe even a tornado dropping going towards Hanover, Ohio. Toboso is also in the track of this. I do think we do have a pretty solid chance, though, of there being a tornado here. It's awesome, Michael. Glad you enjoy it. The velocity's cut out here, so you really can't see the purple dot or anything. Oh, that's what you're talking about? Oh, I see what you mean. That's just the velocity's cutting out. Sorry. I didn't know what you meant by purple dot. That's just velocity's glitching out. Just strong rotation. That's pretty much all that is. Here's the latest scan. Velocities really aren't showing up well here, but I still think we do have a pretty solid chance of a tornado being on the ground here. Just to the east of Swans, and right now approaching Hanover. And this tornado warning does expire in 4 minutes. All 3 tornado warnings will expire in 4 minutes, so we'll see what gets reissued. I think all of them will probably get a new warning. The 2 in Maryland and this one in Ohio, I think, will get new warnings. We have 7 flash flood warnings as well, but 3 tornado warnings still. Start to get some new warnings here in a moment. Still strong rotation near Highway 16 in Hanover here in Ohio. If you're in this warning, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, lowest floor possible, interior room of your home or building.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
All right, the first one to get a new warning is the one in Delaware. That's going to be the rotation just to the east of Chesapeake City. Still strong area of circulation east of Highway 213, moving eventually towards Delaware City, north of Middletown in Delaware. So if you're in this pink polygon, seek shelter away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. No debris signature, so no confirmed tornado by any means, but that rotation will be on track for the north side of Middletown. So nothing surprising with this warning. The next one might get issued would be probably near Zion and Fair Hill. We'll see if they issue a new one. The rotation's still there. It's just not as strong, but Fair Hill, Zion would be next in the track for this one. Odessa, Delaware is also included in that new warning. This one here, I'm not sure if we'll get a new one. The rotation's not as strong as previously. The next one will probably be in Ohio, though. My guess. We'll see. That rotation's also broadening a little bit, so we'll see. It was definitely strong on the last few scans, but it's broadened over the last couple. Your phone on your desk? It is. Why do you ask? Did you hear a buzz or something? I don't know how much this mic is picking up. I didn't do any testing with it, but this mic is not the same one I use at my weather studio, so it picks up more, I think. Hears it all? That's not good. Huh. Might have to fix my mic settings. Well, I'm not surprised it picks up my chair, for the record. I can turn it down a little bit more. Just put on that for now. Problem is, that's why I don't use this mic anymore, because it does pick up a lot of stuff. It used to as well. Alright, well, this tornado warning for the time being in Ohio has ended. We are actually down to 1 tornado warning, and that's it. It's in Delaware. That's the only warning that we have for the time being. Even though we do have some rotation there, it's obviously not enough for a new warning. I keep this microphone in the same place. All right. So again, your only tornado warning right now is the one in Delaware, where we do have still some strong rotation. We'll be moving towards Armstrong, Boyd's Corner, Mount Pleasant, St. George's, Delaware City, and as well as Port Penn. So again, continue to stay in your safe place if you're in the pink polygon, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. It still does have a chance to produce a tornado. Thank you, Jessica, for the $100 super chat. You are crazy. I appreciate your generosity. What's more to the chat for Jessica? Very generous $100 super chat. Thank you very much, Jessica. You're too kind. Maybe I'll use that money for a new Shure MV7 microphone for the second studio, because this microphone is literally not even holding on to this thing right now. Appreciate that, Jessica. Thank you. Glad I can help. How do you spell Delaware? On my screen. Go. Right. Show the cup. What is it? It's just a water bottle. We had nothing prepared for this stream. I at one point was drinking out of this water jug that comes from the fridge. Like, we were not prepared at all for the stream. There was nothing ready to go. I'm guessing you can hear that as well. But... Fourth warning of the year in licking? Really? There's been 4 warnings in Licking, Ohio? I didn't even realize that. That's a lot. That's actually pretty crazy. We have a damage report coming out of Chambersville, Delaware. Small trees down at Walker School Road and Fleming Landing Road in Delaware 9. So damaging winds continues to be a concern with these storms. Pitcher should be full of margaritas. Really should be. Latest scan showing broader circulation. Oh, that's at least for now. A little bit broader of rotation for right now. Issued a new special marine warning out in front of this as well, as there will be a chance for a water spout as that moves over the lake, or the river. Definitely not a lake, but a river. Really drinking in margarita now? It's my Friday? How is it your Friday today? You work like Saturday until Wednesday? Still here? I mean, I'm here just in case this does anything. If it starts to broaden out, we won't be live too much longer, but if it stays intense enough, we'll stay live. I mean, again, the worst, I think, has already happened, and we're still watching to see if something, produces here, but if it broadens out over the next few scans, we'll call it, but if it stays strong, we'll continue to stay live. I do want to remind you guys, again, down in the description below, you can join our Discord server. The link is down in the description. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. Make sure to follow us on all those platforms. The links are all down there in the description below, at MaxVelocityWX. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We do live streams like this one all the time. And we are not in our studio. The quality is usually not this bad. I mean, it's not really bad, but it's just not our typical standard for what we do now. So make sure to check that all out. Subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy this type of stream as well and want to support the page above and beyond and help us to be able to do more upgrades to the weather studio, you can become a member. The membership link is in the description. It's also the join button down below. In addition to that, we do have limited release merch. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Our store link in the description is broken. We are going to fix that hopefully after the stream. So just letting you guys know. That limited release merch will be out until Friday instead of Thursday now because of the error that we're having, technical issues. So don't panic if you can't get to the link. How's northern Delaware? Mostly just a rain and wind threat right now. There's nothing rotating up there. Still have some broad circulation south of Oxford, Pennsylvania, but the only rotation that I think has any concern right now is this one near Middletown in Delaware. We still have some broad circulation in Ohio. Check that again real quick. I think it was mostly broadening out, though. Yeah. This rotation over here in Ohio is broadened out quite a bit. So no rotation right now, at least near Newark for the time being. The rotation that's back over near like Hillsborough and whatnot, mostly just wind Maybe an isolated tornado risk, but I think the risk is definitely dying down here in Ohio. It's not zero, but it's going lower. Yeah, risk for severe weather does go all the way into eastern Ohio and even western Pennsylvania, with mainly a wind threat, maybe an isolated brief tornado, but I think the risk will remain on the lower side of things. We have about 7 different tornado reports here in Maryland, by the way, so far. Obviously, more damage reports and reports in general are to come, but still a little ways from all that stuff. As a friendly reminder, if you need a storm shelter, as we are going still throughout severe weather season, even in Maryland, severe weather is still a possibility. As we go into the later half of June, July, and even into August, you can get a storm shelter from ESP Shelter. The link is in the description. It's going to be the top link in the description, espshelter.com. If you need an above-ground storm shelter, they are very, very good storm shelters that can withhold any intensity tornado. Check that out, espshelter.com, down in the description below. No, this was not a marginal risk at all. I know a lot of people are going to say that. It obviously wasn't, but goes to show, I mean, events like this, they can sometimes overperform like this. Always why, if you're under a risk of severe weather, at least stay weather aware to some extent. You don't have to be panicking, but just, stay weather aware. Obviously, today this was unexpected, but yeah, it got crazy. It was never Culver's fault. I did not eat Culver's today. Trust me, I did not eat Culver's. We had Lay's Pizza. So, not Culver's fault today. I don't know what we're blaming today, but it's not Culver's. Thank you, Mopar, and as well as Riley for becoming VIP and as well as Maximum Velocity members. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Velocities. How common are tornadoes in Maryland? They're not very common. Usually when we get tornadoes, they're not on the strong side of things. They're usually weak. And today we had multiple tornadoes that were likely strong. So not something that we see that often by any means. Is the haircut curse starting? I don't know. I just got a haircut today. It might be it. Who knows? Blaze is so good. I know it is good. No doubt about that. Was it a buzz cut? No, it's a high fade. You can't really, I don't know if you really can see it, but it's a high fade. Am I in the Baltimore area? No. No, not at all. All right, latest scan still showing broad circulation. We'll give it another scan or two and see if anything happens. If not, we're not going to stay live for too much longer. As long as it just stays broad. Main reason why we went live was for those, PDS warnings and such. High tapered fade. Just call it a high fade, but no problem, feed the beast. No problem, Adam. No problem at all. Max fade. Max fade it is. I guess that's gonna be the name. Max fade. Max velocity fade. Sounds fantastic. How's the rest of June? I think we'll be quiet next week, honestly. I've kind of talked about it in our video today. Again, check out the video today for more details. But I think the next week or two will be quiet. Sorta. Today was supposed to be quiet. It wasn't. But this is a large-scale trough, so something like this can't ever be ruled out. Just today, this environment did not look favorable for this at all. Even though we have a large low-pressure system to the north. Next week kind of looks quiet. I don't see anything major for severe weather events, honestly, for next week. We could get something on Saturday, maybe. But, I just don't see anything major. Other than that, I think it's going to be kind of a bit quieter. Again, I'll be on vacation, so I'm not going to go live next week at all, but we could get a couple of disturbances. The next major like outbreak that we could have would probably not be until sometime in mid-June. I think that's our next chance for something big. Like mid-June, like around June 15th or after that, I think will be our next time to watch for significant events. Still, you know, we won't really know for sure until a few days from now because we still don't have great information on that. Still over 7 days out. All right, this rotation's broadening out a lot. Let me go back to Ohio real quick and just check to see if we have anything there. There's some broad circulation near Greenfield, just, again, very broad. Rotation near Mount Arab is also mostly just wind. Newark, also, all that rotation's kind of fizzled. So most of the rotation across the state is weakening. The only area that I think we have still a low chance at a tornado of would be in southern Ohio, possibly near Hillsborough or something like that. Maybe Chillicothe, something like that. Those areas might be in the track of that storm. But otherwise, I think the majority of these storms are beginning to weaken out. I think the tornado risk overall is going to be going down over the next few hours. I would not be super concerned. If you're in southern New Jersey, if you're in Delaware, I would continue to, at least at the bare minimum, stay weather aware, have multiple ways to receive alerts just in case we get another tornado. Right now, there is a tornado warning. Broad circulation for the time being, but it's been broadening out for a little while now. Could re-intensify for the record, but I think the worst of what we've had today is done. I think after this, I think things start to kind of quiet down just a little bit. And by tomorrow, we should be kind of done with at least, you know, any sort of significant severe weather. Let's hope I don't jinx that. We do have another large marginal threat on the East Coast and also in the Southeast and even in Texas, but overall the risk is on the lower side of things, at least for the time being. So let's hope it stays that way, but who knows? You know, it's 2024. With all that said, we're going to end the stream there. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Like the stream as well. Hopefully you found this stream informative. Again, we are not in our weather studio, so quality obviously not the same. But we are going to try to upgrade the studio so we're ready to go with these sorts of events. Quick reminder, we do have a limited release merch that is out until now Friday. The link is going to be pinned in the chat. There's no shopmaxvelocity.net link that works right now. It should be working again later tonight, hopefully. This is our new storefront. It's going to look a little bit different, but we got all sorts of different merch on the store. Again, shopmaxvelocity.net. It should hopefully be working, though, tonight. Hopefully. We only have a few items right now, the limited release and the Drunknado merch. So again, shopmaxvelocity.net. That will be, we'll have more merch, by the way. We'll have all of our logo stuff back. We're just revamping the store right now, so we had some problems this morning fixing all that. So just an FYI. But obviously, again, if you want to check that out, pinned link in the chat is where you can go ahead and check that out. We'll be trying to fix everything because, again, all those social media posts got scheduled at the same time, and we didn't think the link would be broken, so we're gonna try to fix that. If we have to go live again, we will, but otherwise, we'll see you guys again, possibly in mid-June. I don't know if we'll be live between now and Friday, but if we are, you know, just click the bell icon down below, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys all again soon. Have a great night. Thank you guys for being generous. If you donated, super chatted, became a member, really do appreciate your generosity. Thank you to anybody that Venmo'd. Thank you to anybody that donated in general. Appreciate you guys a lot. Have a good night. We'll see you guys all again in the next video or live stream. See you guys again soon.